Hola, everyone. We're back again. Codebreaker Real Talk, can't stop, won't stop. We're back with Thom Althouse and our special guest again, Kellie in the Raw, Kellie Coffee. We have Corey Michelli, we have Susan, Divine, Emart, Divine Connections, and Chad Cooper. We're still waiting for 2 other people, but we're gonna hit the road now. Come on, Thom. Welcome again, guys. Or hoorah, we're here. What's happening, Thom?
Huzzah! Yeah, here we are. Oh, it's happening. I'll tell you that. It has exploded. I mean, it is just every basic cell within the truther community, wherever it's suddenly exposing itself. Everybody's now laying the cards on the table, coming out and making their big plays now. So we're seeing a lot of turmoil, a lot of stirring, and I'm seeing some great people like yourselves just hanging like rocks through it all. And it's just like bing, 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 off it goes, and every effect is failed. So now we see where the true power lies.
Yes.
I had sent, Chad sent me a video that somebody sent him and referenced the blue pill, red pill, and, you know, and she was trying to say that it was bad. And I'm like, I'm done with popping pills, dude. Like, we're not talking about that. Thom, what's your take on what, you know, that video? I'll put the link below after.
Yeah.
So people could see what we're talking about.
I saw that. When I saw that, I'm glad you sent it to me, but you saw my, I mean, you heard my reaction, you saw my reaction. I was like, basically just pissed. I was like, to see that going on when we're working to save the kids. And right now, the cabal is saying they're in a panic because of the blue pill movement. And right when the blue pill movement starts to move, and they do this. Oh, very convenient, very nice. And what's it based on? What? Hologram people? What? What's going on? No. Facts, evidence. Let's get down to what's really happening in our world. The main players are saying we've won this. We're doing the blue. What's the blue pill? The only one that understands the blue pill essentially is the author. And here's the work right here where it comes from. There it is, copyrighted, Preceding the Matrix. That's where the blue pill comes from. What is the blue pill? Right here, right there. That's the blue pill. The author's eye is the blue pill trying to warn people what's going on to free the kids. So anybody that says they said the blue pill's bad, you don't know the work. You didn't write it. You don't understand our message. And we're trying to save the kids. Get out of the way. Don't come up
Thom,
with
they stole your work. You know, yeah. I'm tired of people stealing each other's work. It's like, one thing is sharing and giving credit, but another thing is just stealing your work. That's not right.
Well, when you're trying to save kids and people show up like this and start to say the blue pill's bad, they're not in this story. They are not part of the story. They didn't write the story. They didn't create the story. They're not involved. And now I call it false glory, or what do they call it when you take the stolen glory. I think what they're trying to do is come in here and be like, I'm an authority. And they drop this thing, the video sent me, like important intel. No, it's not. It's garbage. You don't know what you're talking about, people on this video. You have no idea. So don't get in the way of progress where the other side's saying they failed. The red pill was made in the good pill, but that's the blood of the children. That's growth hormones. Doesn't it make sense that the underground would use a blue pill, something good in the story, to stop it? So you want us to stop doing interviews? You want us to stop talking to blue pill? No way, Jose. We're going to finish this fight. We already have them up against the ropes. Those that want attention and to feel important by claiming they know what the blue pill is with their wooey dreams that sound delusional, get out of the way. Let us finish our job. We're going to free the kids. We've got where the other side says they've given up. So just stay out of the way. Let us do our job.
I'd like to interject there too, because this particular lady, this video that I shared with Veronica, she does receive messages directly, you know, and so where is she receiving these messages from? My guess would be the CIA and the voice of God, because it seems to be following a very direct narrative, and I've caught her in this before. This is, you know, she didn't fool me this time around either. That wasn't the reason why I showed Veronica this video. Well,
that's perfect, Chad, because that lines up exactly what's going on. The timing is too perfect. Yeah. If they're saying they're freaking out, that we've won, that the blue pill movement's scaring them, then now people have something to identify saying, I'm blue pilled, which means I'm going against the red pill, blood of the children, cabal, stolen work idea. And so right then it surfaces, Chad, it's perfect. Perfect timing, too perfect.
I agree.
Now, we're also going to talk, well, we talked in the past video about how they're going to want certain people to go to the stadiums. We've talked about the visions that I've had and Thom's had, and Susan, she's also a super soldier. You know, I don't like the word, but we've been using these programs, and you know, we've been getting hit hard with as soon as a certain thing came up. I totally felt it. Now, I felt it before when it was January, was it the Super Bowl? It was, or was it 02/22/2022? And I totally felt this new AI system coming up. You know, and that's they use Super Bowl rituals, things like that. They were showing people how they're being put in these little boxes, meaning your identity, your essence. That's what they're doing, is putting the people each in the little boxes, which is really, you know, stealing people's identity. The whole Elon Musk thing, trying to put up people in the VR. I saw this commercial, which I don't like to see commercials, but I was it kind of caught my eye. I had lowered it, and then I'm like, wait, okay, so we have Matthew McConaughey, right? And he's in his NASA suit. And then he said, I saw him going up a hot air balloon. And then I'm like, wait, so I put up the volume, and he says at the end, some of you are going to VR and Mars while others of us stay on Earth. And I'm like, wait, I'm not staying on Earth. Okay, after this whole thing of saving the children is over, yes, we're here for that reason. I'm not going, we've already been to Mars. I've had visions of Mars too. We've been in the fights and the nuclear wars there. And yes, we're gonna help save the children and Mother Earth and all that. But when we're done here, I'm not staying here on Earth. If you see songs like Justin Bieber, he talks about this song saying, I want you to stay, stay, stay. It's like the whole industry, Max Spears talked about it, you know, you gotta be careful what you listen to, because there's these programs used with the harmonics and things like that in the music industry to try and lure you into these different programs. Now, going back to that video that was sent, she was saying that she was channeling these beings from the fourth dimension. We all know that the fourth dimension has the headless beings, the zombies, you know, these things that they've created. And you know who has created these beings, right? When I was a kid, I'm like, wait, the headless horseman? Okay, those beings do exist. There's even chicken with no heads now. If you look at these Disney movies, the Ching Chai, I don't know what it's called, but when they're fighting, the dragons are fighting against the other dragons. And they show this being that has wings, but he has no head. So they're, you know, giving us GMO crap, you know, there's an agenda with the Moore burger that Chad and I have talked about. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Going back to the fourth dimension, a lot of people are saying, well, I'm going to ascend to the fifth dimension. And I'm like, really? Okay, well, that means you have to die. When you go through the fourth dimension, you die. So what's going to happen? Yeah, you can't skip. You can't go from 3 to 5 without going to the fourth. So my take is you have to free your heart, right? By forgiving yourself. You don't have to forgive anybody else, but you have to free yourself, because we have to stay childlike. That's what they attack, is our heart. So anybody want to say something there?
I want to say something, and I don't know if you're aware of this, Thom, because this is right up your alley.
Okay.
I posted this week an article I found from May 9th of this year, and the Satanic Temple is arguing that abortion is a ritual and legal challenges, and this has actually been presented to the Supreme Court.
Wow.
Yes, this year. They are, let me read it to you. It's on Fox News. The Satanic Temple said its adherents should be permitted religious exemptions to perform religious abortion rituals in states that have put up barriers to the controversial procedure, responding to a leaked Supreme Court opinion draft that would overturn Roe versus Wade. TST said that it was committed to protecting religious abortion access for its members. It states that outlaw abortion, but grant exceptions for instances of incest and rape. TST said in a statement, members should be permitted a religious exception to perform their TST religious abortion ritual.
Wow.
States that outlaw abortion and do not grant exemptions present more significant challenge, but I guess this is the Church of Satan, TST, whatever, said first, we will be suing the FDA to permit the Church of Satan to access, what is this? I don't even know how to pronounce this word, mifepristone and misoprostol to use under medical supervision as part of our religious abortion ritual.
Jeez.
And they are filing this lawsuit with the federal RFRA, adding that unfettered access to these drugs shoot, it just jumped on me. Which is taken to terminate a pregnancy would be a considerable step towards enabling the Satanic Temple, TST, I guess that's what it is, to perform its abortion ritual without government interference. And they even have it listed up. I don't know if you can see it. It's on their Twitter page, the Satanic Temple. The body is inviolable, subject of one's own will alone, is what they're saying. And they want a religious exemption so they can have the abortions for their.
Unbelievable.
It's on Fox News. It's right there on the internet, Fox News. So. And nobody's addressing this. And I think part of Roe versus Wade might have meant that we win because they can't legally take the babies anymore. Because that would, with the Roe versus Wade, they could, you know, where they were taking the abortion to 9 months, that actually went a couple weeks past the 9 months. So they were legally allowed, the Satanic Church was, to kill these babies because they weren't seen as a baby.
Wow. Well, I remember when I was grown in Mars, right? And then I was a C-section baby. So they put me back in my mother's womb. When I remember going in the 3rd trimester. Okay. That's when our essence goes in to the body that I know of, my personal experience. So there's this other thing, okay, where it's a fight. It's a fight at both sides. Now, if you look at the Ashiana Dean things, Voyager, I'll put the link again. Back in the day, they would perform rituals. I mean, they still do. Okay, that's part of the secret space program under the moon, and to bring in these walk-ins. Okay, full moon, whatever. They've had these. They would have these what they would call midwives, or I don't know what the other term is. But to bring in their, we'll say archons, which archons to me is another word. If you look at the movie Jupiter Ascending, it's people like, you know, us, that we were just regular humans that got these other 12 bloodline, we'll say the DNA, right? And they were trying to ascend and they got stuck behind the sun. And then they went to Jupiter. They went to, I mean, their station is right now, it's in Saturn, Jupiter. But back in the day, these women that felt that these archonic entities were in their womb, they would jump off a cliff to get rid of the, we'll say, the walking. So there's this side and then there's the other side, you know, and then all these people are fighting, saying things, well, you should, you know, keep your, you know what, clothes or whatever. Oh, you guys are using the excuse of rape. What is your take on this, Kellie? You gotta unmute.
Oh my gosh, is the microphone like terrible or is it all right?
A little glitchy.
A little glitchy.
We'd love to hear you a little clearer.
I
my
wasn't
dear.
sure. I'm in a camp. Oh, I'm in a campground, so the internet is sketchy here. Sorry about that. I might not be able to participate with this connection issue.
We can hear you now.
Oh, you can? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I was having a hard time hearing you guys. Thank you for inviting me here. I don't know if I'm up to speed on all of this stuff. I don't watch television. I don't get into all the details good at doing. So I guess I come at this from a different perspective on things. So I don't know if I can really help you out of your program today.
Hi, Kellie.
Hi there, Chad.
It's a pleasure to have you. I call her Kellie Vision.
Hey.
She's a miracle with her third eye, and she can see just about anything you would like for her. And she's gone into me, and I am so sorry, Kellie. I'm never asking you to go into my energy again because I had you crying.
Oh.
And I said, until I get things a little more cleared up, you don't need to be reading me. I had you sobbing like a baby, and thank you so much. It was a beautiful reading. I would like to present
Okay.
to everybody because your vision is important to us, Kelly. And I do think that your perspective is as well. I don't also watch the TV. I do ultimately feel that it is what Thom was saying. It's going to be us. Okay. But I would like to know what the playing field looks like. I want to know who's who. I do get a sense that, you know, if you want to get out there, there is an AI and an alien AI kind of, or celestial AI coming in and sort of taking over things. But then I want to kind of go into the playing field of who are the elites, because I just heard Susan call out the Satanists and what they're trying to do. So we know there's definitely the Satanists there. And then we know there's definitely people trying to call in walk-ins like Veronica was talking about. But then on our side, I'm sitting here working with the 3D and I'm trying to figure out who are these people, because they just don't seem to care. And the reason I'm asking is because in the end, I do feel like we win. And I do feel like they don't care and they don't thank us. And I don't feel like we're doing it for them. I feel like we're doing it for humanity and the next generation. So are these the thankless people that are allowing this to happen that we're rescuing, or the ones that we're calling sleepers? Now,
Well,
what is a sleeper? What is a non-entity person, a non-player person, background person? Like, what's our playing field look like? Who are we and who are them? And who's everybody's interpretation of that? You know, that would be interesting to discuss as well.
Yeah.
I'll go real quick and then we'll have Corey go. And then Susan and then Kelly and then Chad. So the non-player is pretty much like if you're in a game and you're playing that game, you're playing that avatar. There's another, we'll say, entity that just sits around there and tries to lure you in to not finish your mission. I also call those backdrop people, zombies, NPCs, okay? Like Mr. Smith in Matrix, all right? Red dress, oh. You know, I'm like in my astral going, I'm focusing, and then boom, they send something else. I'm like, yeah, that's the girl with the red dress. So you got to refocus yourself with the astral. As far as who is who, they're not gonna let you know. They have the pyramid, okay? And on the top of the pyramid, three entities sit. And on top of that, it's Pindar. And on top of that, okay, so it's like this one theme. And now how I see it, I shared a video on Azathoth, the big, and it goes into the squids, Thom, in your movie, all right? So it's
Revelations. Yeah, that's where I drew it from.
Yes, and it's a huge octopus with the one eye, okay? And it also, if you look at the Ashiana Dean paperwork video, it goes into, okay, well, the Metatronic eye, the Yahweh eye, you know, but this entity has been worshipped for years, and he's supposedly under the ocean. Now I'm thinking, is he under Antarctica? Is he like connected to the black pterodactyl? What is it, Susan? The cube, the black cube in Saturn, you know what I mean? It's connected to the pyramids here on Earth. That energy, okay, connected to the phantom matrix, the Lysidex matrix. They're trying to get this matrix of Earth pulled in with them through a wormhole to take the children, the plant life, the innocents, the animals, for their, we'll say, Star Wars agenda. That's where the super soldiers are divided, because I'm not fighting for them. I'm gonna stay here and help with Mother Earth and all and everything that Thom's been talking about. Okay, so you're never gonna see who is who, Chad. You're never gonna see like, okay, who's on this. There's different families, the 13 families that we talk about, but mainly it goes up 7, it goes 11, it goes 5, 7, 5, 7, 11, 7, 5, and then 3, and then 1. Okay, I don't believe in the one, because when they talk about the video, the satanic people, the Illuminati and the Masons, they worship this one eyeball demiurge. I don't even want to call it God. So I'm like, have you slapped that one eyeball squid? You know what I'm saying? And then if you think about it, I'm going to be talking about this in class, is it has 12, right? 8 arms, right? And then the 8 is actually going to the stones, the Georgia, whatever stones that they blew up. 8 is Roman times, 8-pointed star. Okay, they're trying to do a reverse on the bioregenesis program. We are the 12. We are the 48. You know, we are just like Yeshua 12, not the Zeus here that they have here in the churches, okay? No offense, but you guys got to do your own meditating in your heart and ask yourself questions and stuff like that. We cannot depend on a we'll say source or something that's outside of our heart, okay? Because the right-hand path wants you to give your power away. We got the left-hand path and then the extreme left-hand path, which is the satanics. So anyway, go ahead, Corey. I'll be right back. Thank you.
You want me to break into the Truth Revolution update, Vero? Hello?
Yes.
Oh, I think so. I'm
You went
gonna bring up, hooked up with a technology firm that are master architects in the new Web3 technology. So what we have at an asset we now have is to have a new type of social media platform that can integrate every type of like communication, commerce, including privacy. That's like Facebook times 100, that has that where your information is not shared in some like massive data pool. I can break that down a little bit later, but what it gives us the opportunity to do is have a platform to promote and organize our Truth Revolution festivals, and actually have a virtual Truth Revolution celebration or festival going on all of the time in infinite space. It was pretty freaking cool. And we're gonna, I can break the details of it down later, but that's a huge breakthrough because we have an ability to have a social media platform that has the right type of emotional frequency as its base, its core, as its like heartthrob, if you will. So that's like the main update right now. We've got a few very competent investors that we're going to be meeting with next week. Should get the ball rolling like really fast in this project. So once we get that first tier investment it's really a matter of finishing up some details on the Web3 aspect of the Truth Revolution, which is really just like plug and play because all the tools are in place already. Finding our venues, finding our artists, working on the cinematography or whatever you want to call it of the revelation experience that you'll be in charge of, Thom. So that's the quick update.
Corey, thank you for that. I was talking to you last week and I said, we Starseed Super Soldiers that have to go speak to these Las Vegas conferences, they charge us $1,000 just to go speak. And then not to mention the rooms, at the Westgate, it was like $800, whatever. And then you got to pay for your table. And then, Susan and Frank went last March and I had them go up, and I had them tell their story. And what I wanted to do, Corey, because you have some friends that are also in the trucking business, which I've had a vision of that too.
Right.
And I'm thinking, what if we all get together? Not only, Thom with his with his information, and you, Corey, with the Rap Fiend, and getting the music industry going, the teenagers. I give you an idea. I talked to Lisa, my friend, about getting in the horses to help the kids with autism as well. And I'm like, why don't we just go talk about all this, and invite the Starseed Super Soldiers that have been ignored, because pretty much we're the misfits, right? So I think that's going to be good, don't you think?
For sure. Like maybe so. Think of this too. It's think of it as a virtual space where we can have online members, the festival participants, investor sponsors, artists, contributors of any nature that go into this, and it becomes like a virtual city, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so when we're doing a festival, we'll have the opportunity for people to literally put on like 3D goggles and be part of that live festival at their home if they're not able to make it. We also have the ability to do like conferences that have like no limit to its scope. We could, with the network that exists within that Zetaverse, you can literally like take this episode and whoever's involved in that community, like make them a part of it, live, archive it, access it at any time. Like the data capacity for this thing like is beyond my vocabulary. I can't even really put it into words, but it uses a whole new type of data housing that essentially has no limit. So yes, we can. So any kind of like forum you want to do, it becomes a platform to like have a virtual platform where you can invite as many people as you want, or many people that can possibly attend. And it's a way to market live events too and bring people together in real time. So it's virtual meets reality, not virtual reality, both.
I like it because what the Elons, right? want to do and put people in the iCloud, we're going to use it for good. We're going to hack that
Right.
thing.
And I will say this too. When people stand together, they do not need to be hard. The potential for that, like Thom, you keep going back to one voice. Thom, you're so more articulate than me when you get rolling on this stuff. You mentioned like a one voice, one heart, one direction, one movement, something like that. But this gives us the type of technology where we can really move as a group and get those like-minded people rolling in the right direction with the right type of intention behind it. Mm-hmm. So it is that tool for that one voice, Thom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now remember, we can't take one direction because that's one direction over there. Go ahead, Thom.
That's when we're unified like that. It's so amazing. Like we're gonna to get up the hill of life. Like I say, we all have to help each other up. We cannot be at odds. We have to help each other up, and that means we can't negate anything. We can't negate anyone or anything, but we can help each other up the hill. And so the idea, like I said before, if we embrace the idea that we celebrate each other's ability to believe, the ability to have faith. It doesn't have to be our religions, but we can be our faith. And then if we also simplify our identity language that we use in our belief systems, we can then come together easier. Right now it's like a Tower of Babel, because right now we've got the opposite. What we got is people with all their different lingos for their different belief systems. We got to simplify those lingos and come back to reinventing our own language again, that we can have a common way of relating to each other. And often we get locked into our expression of our belief systems through different phrases that we've identified and take for granted. But we got to reinvent the language now for everybody to take a part in that and to be able to speak a common speak. So
once again, you're on the money once again, Thom. The truth is we are divine spiritual beings that have been attacked with low vibration agendas from multiple sources. That's the truth. That doesn't need to become a philosophical, there's no denying that. There's been a low vibration, multi-pronged attack on our mind, body, soul our entire lives, and probably beyond just the lives that we live right now. So that's like the anchor of truth, what we can all come together on.
That's right.
Everybody has their own different unique perspectives and experiences and things of that nature, but it's undeniable that we have this low vibration attack in multiple forms coming at us all the time. So that really is the heart and soul of the truth revolution, is we can all wrap around that truth. And then from there, we're all unique. Being spiritual beings, we're all unique. None of us are the same per se, but we're all, part of one same continuum, if you will.
Once we see that, we're going to succeed, we'll evolve. Right now, the greatest trick that's been done upon us is they've made us build our own cages. And they've added it to ourselves. So we've each built our own cages. Right. And then we're supposed to say that's our space. We own it. It's ours. Don't invade it. It's like right now what we need to do. We really all need to come together and speak baby speak again. We have to be able to come together and each of us be able to communicate almost like we're talking to fourth graders, and just set aside our comfort zone of what we've established is our, familiar pattern of identifying, and also identifying the world and opening it up again. I even tell my kids, like my last surviving son, I always told him, tell me what you think that is when I point to a tree, and he'll tell me a name, like just make it up. And I'll say, from then on, I'll say, that's what that tree is. That is an unga. And it's like, I will use that word, and we have our own language.
Yes, it is.
Beauty in that, because I'm learning something about him while he identifies the way he wants to identify. If we do that with the rest of the world and just reinvent everything, leave it open, they'll see that we have an open heart and that we really are concerned about them, because we're not holding on to something sacred in our realm. We're saying, look, we want to embrace what you have and your feelings. Like you said, Veronica, the heart, who you are, the heart. I had a dream where I was gathered around in a dream, and all these people were together in the dream, and I came to it, and I felt smart, I felt intelligent, but in the circle they said, who are you? And I started explaining what I had done on earth, because I felt like an afterlife experience in the circle. And they said, no, who are you? And I said, well, I believe, no, who are you? What is your feeling? What is your core? What is your essence of who you are? And I was like, I don't know. And so really what we're going to allow ourselves to do is discover ourselves, discover each other. And what a beautiful thing to bring world peace and universal peace by coming together and all admitting we're children. We really don't have answers. But what we can do is say, we're not going to negate anything. We'll discover it together, and we'll enjoy that process and celebrate what we learn.
Yeah, I swear we're tapping it. Well, obviously we are, because this one I know it's what it is, a celebration of like positive vibes, motivation, encouragement, and like letting people know they are accepted. Period.
Right.
So like that, that's fairly simple language. I think that's kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because that is working against the weaponry that's come against us. It's just we're not, the nature of this propaganda machine is not to encourage each other. It's not to build each other up. It's not to welcome people in and bring people together. So really, it's quite simple the way you said it. It just those basic principles about encouraging other people, sharing kindness and encouraging others to spread as many good deeds as possible.
Right.
And be bold at the same time. Be bold in that action.
See, the other side will say, we've heard this before. That's trite. That's not important. But what we'll do is, like you said, Veronica, we'll open our hearts and we'll start to speak. The words will come out the right way if we're set in the right way. Like I said, if we do the layered thinking thing of this, where only positive is in our minds. Only positive is what we chew on. Only the positive. Only good feelings, good emotions in layers. And then what happens is, there's any negative thing we face, like I said, we stick it into our reference section of our mind, and our mind will go, okay, that's taken care of. It won't chew on it because we've stored it. We've told our mind, look, we've dealt with it. We're storing in reference. And then all we have in our mind chewing around is positive. Therefore, what we speak will be a positive flow, because it's just all we have is positive operating. What happens is, a lot of people don't realize that when they take a negative input, your mind's going to compute on that and try to find a solution. It'll spit out a solution. You're going to send it right back if it's not the solution that's ethical or fits your bill. And that means it's back in the chewing machine. What's going to be, you have this physical responses that occur, sweat, clenching of the jaw, things like this is going to happen. Physical manifestations of a thought not dealt with. That's negative. But once we stick that negative in the reference section, your mind says, that's dealt with. We're safe with that. It's a reference. Only positive can fill your heart and mind.
I like that layered thinking that you're creating for students or whoever wants to learn, because when we're kids, we hear, oh, you have to peel the onion, and I'm like, okay, but if you look at the other way, the layers can go this way, and like you said, I like the idea of, if you have something to talk to another person about, use that, exhaust it until it's all exhausted. And I was even talking about it the other day. It's like, file it away, lock it away, or burn it, just be done with it.
That's right.
That way it doesn't have to come up.
That's why nobody understands this work. Even the Warner Brothers people said they don't understand this work. I'm not trying to make it all about me right now. I'm just saying, as a reference point here, they didn't understand it. The Suits actually said to the Wachowskis, we know we got something cool. We don't understand it. Explain it to us. They couldn't. So Joe Silver tried to explain it. He got it wrong. He said it was robots in the program. It's robot-like agents. The stakes are higher. They don't even understand it. So that's a piece written in layers. But the idea, again, is to bring people together where they put their own personal life and understanding into that story. So it brings people together where they all share. It becomes part of them. They own it. They all own it. That's why I'm going to give the copyright to everybody when this is done. They'll all own that work, and they'll do creative spin-offs off that. That's how we can encourage creativity. When NASA scientists are calling me and saying, we're afraid of getting the answers. We're afraid of having the answers because then we'll do nothing left to stimulate. There's no reason to live. I said, yes, there is. There's plenty to live. It's like the piano behind me with all the keyboards or the keys on it. It's like there's so many combinations we can do with layers and thought. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because we're going to have a beautiful world. People want to know what they can do. Free your heart. Like you said, Veronica, put love in your heart. It sounds trite. I know. It sounds simple. It should be simple. The answers are simple. They didn't understand the work I was doing, but what I was laying out was everything. You could all write a piece. You'll all have a piece if you wanted to follow through. You'd all have a script just as unique as mine, just as exciting, because it's based on your personal experience with layers, only positive. No wonder the cabal never understood it. How do you bring down the cabal? How you bring them down? With some things they don't understand, something they don't understand, but they're excited about. Then they're like children again. Now the cabal is saying we've won. We've got the answer through creativity and also freeing our minds and not constructing the cages. We are not going to have that happen. They're going to see us helping each other up the hill of life, like I said, that we're going to help each other up, and the children, which I'm glad the children were brought in, because they were going to do that.
Question, Thom, from, Rubber Starlet, because she's stuck on jury duty right now, and she wanted to talk about the squids, but she has a question. Ask Kellie and Thom if the squids are alien implants. Ask again how to start a business, what steps to take since first flourished. Kellie, remember I asked you one time, but then I don't know, I think we had to go, or I don't know what happened. And then ask Thom what steps he has taken to stay true to himself and work through hardship. Ask Corey how to get rid of body fat and get shoulder biceps. Haha.
This is awesome. Okay, go ahead. Kellie, Corey, Kellie.
Well, a combination of a lot of intense exertion with the right kind of food. Simply put, you got to have a good, the answer will be a little different for each person, but you've got to put yourself through some heavy basic compound movements. If you don't have a lot of experience in strength training, pick 2 or 3 very simple movements and train hard with them. Then fuel your body with a good carbohydrate source and a good protein source. It's like, kindergarten 101 on it. Keep like a bench press, a bench press, a row, and a pull-up. If you just do those 3 exercises for your upper body and fuel yourself properly, you'll see like muscular changes very, very fast.
Can you say that again, Corey? The 3?
I'm picking a push, a pull, like forward and backward, and then a push and a pull up and down. Actually, let's make it 4. So a bench press, a row, a pull down, a push, press up, and really train those hard. Learn how to use the technique and fuel yourself with the right types of a simple answer is a balance of carbohydrates and protein. Most people probably get enough fat by accident anyway. But train them hard, basic compound movements.
And also try and lower your sugar intake. That's one thing that, I lost 100 pounds. So I do push day, pull day, you gotta, I do legs 3 times a week. So I've learned from Corey as well, just not exerting myself so much where I'm addicted to pain and pleasure. And pleasure is pain, pain is pleasure. That is a program that I'm currently having to smash.
Awesome.
Kick it out of the ballpark. I'm trying. Okay, Kellie.
Build that energy. Build.
This is not like a business channel or anything. But,
No, well, we're plugging in, with how we're teaching people, because people want to know, hey, if I want to start a business, how did you start? How did you do it?
Well, I guess my advice is follow your heart and don't get in debt. There you go. So yeah, just don't get in debt. Anything you do, anytime it's something that was on, I don't know if you call it your path, the universe just throws money at me. When I go in a certain direction, that's kind of how I know that it's working or it's not in business. So don't throw good money after bad. So the squids, oh my gosh, that's on so many levels. You guys were like, I don't know, I look at things in perspective, because a lot of stuff being talked about today is from a certain perspective. You got these perspectives, you got I guess perspectives. The way that I view it, being a remote viewer, is on like a bubble type level, where I see as maybe the concept of I'm God, I created everything. I'm viewing it from every possible angle. That's kind of how I look at that, ultimately. And then I go down layers in remote viewing to we can get all detailed and all drama and all that and stuff like that. But these levels and layers, whenever I get into a place where I'm upset, or this is something that's very stressful or traumatic for me, or I feel like I'm a victim or something's happening to me, or I need to fight it or save people, or what I try to do in my situation is look at it like it's self-reflective. So what I see out there is what is going on with me internally. That's how I try to see it, and I do pretty well that way. Because I do the remote viewing, I am able to go in the, I don't know, matrix. I don't know what to call. The floors aren't numbered, so you can go to like a higher level and then look down on this and see on some levels how silly it is and all the small things going on. So I don't know. That's just kind of how I do things to navigate my way around it. And I try to adopt the attitude of lessons. To kind of refine it, talking about maybe positive experiences and negative, maybe going a different level, and instead of maybe giving them a title or judging them in some way, maybe it's just a lesson. just a lesson. So anyway, it's been awesome working with Veronica with all of these symptoms, super soldier symptoms, and finding out that I'm not crazy, that all this stuff did happen, and there's a big, community of people that this happened to, as well, and very similar symptoms as myself. I'm just so happy that we can come in here with all our different views on things and talk about, I guess, where we are individually. And when we do that, I guess we do learn more about ourselves.
Mhm. Susan, go ahead, and if you want to say something. Susan and I were also remote viewers. We can biolocate. We can go into. I'm a dream walker. I can, if you guys want me to go into your astral and help you, or I'll be there. Dream walkers. I don't know why they call us that, but Susan, go ahead and talk a little bit about that, and then you did a video on the getting targeted again with Frank and the voice to skull technology. It's going on worse now, and we got to get together and get rid of that.
Well, I know other people don't know me, but I remember being taken from when I was 2 years old, a psionic super soldier. Jean Grey's based on me, the character, and my husband, who I found 3 years ago through meditation and some other things, who was my husband in the program. I found him, and I moved cross country to be with him, and we don't really know how we did it, because we bilocate. Somehow we grew up 1,000 miles away from each other, and they did this purposely, because when we see each other, we regain all our memories. And I mean, I know what his house looks like that he grew up in. I've been in his bedroom, but physically, from remote viewing and bilocation, and apparently we were able to do other things, but we have those memories too. I don't even know how we did it, but I know I can dream walk and do all those other things. I've known I could do that since I was a child. So when people say to me, when did you wake up? I'm like, I've been awake. I've been waiting for all of you to wake up, because I'm a grandmom now, and I haven't had anybody to talk to about all this stuff.
Right.
And I have to research constantly all this stuff that's going on. I was in 3rd grade. I was the weirdo that had my 2 friends sitting in a circle with me telepathing. I'd say, okay, I'm going to concentrate on one thing. Can you see me? And I already knew I could bilocate in 3rd grade because I did it for a friend who was in trouble. I went to where she was. And see, I've been playing with this stuff my whole life. I knew I could do it. And I was terrified to have children because I didn't want them to take my children. Sorry.
Right.
And then my youngest is really psychic like me. And he kept bragging to people that he could talk to mommy when she wasn't there, and he can. And I mean, the oldest one, he's in the military, so I didn't talk to him about any of that. Actually, he's deployed right now, and I think it's because I'm talking, because I actually went above him and did a governor's request to take him with another unit that he wasn't even in and get deployed. So that's on my mind. I was a police officer and a detective. I'm retired. I worked in family services, which was a lot of crimes against children. While I was in there, I also came across satanic activities. That's when I saw my first human angel. And she was, I remember I was field training a guy, and I thought we were getting punked, because this is the 90s, and when Whatchamajig was doing his punk show, and my guy I'm training he's like, Susan, what's going on? And I had to go to car channel, and they were telling me from our 911 center, our recom, that this child had been kidnapped by Satanists in Ohio, and I'm a police officer in Delaware at the time, that they had found her. She was in a dog cage, and they were using her for satanic rituals. And she was 6 years old, out of control, and harming herself in the residence. So I was like, oh shit, I hate demons. I really hate demons. I got that Catholic programming, fatal Catholic programming. Yeah. So we're driving there, and he says, what do I do? I said, I know how to fight a human, I have weapons for that. But if we're going to fight something that's interdimensional and demonic, you better start praying, call in whatever protection you use? You've angels, do that. You've guides, do that. He said, are you serious? I said, hell yeah. I was like, nobody else is going
Susan?
to tell you that, but that's what I do. And when we got up to the door of this house, it was a ranch house. And I had to stand right in front of the door, which, you know, we don't do for officer safety. I always stand to the side in case somebody wants to blow a shotgun around, you know, shells, whatever, out the door at you. That's why we don't stand in front of the door. But while I was standing there, I kind of went, no. And I could see the profile of, because I call St. Mike and my guardian angel. And I know people don't like St. Michael, but whoever, you know, other people have issues with him, but it's not St. Michael that shows up, because I don't like people with blonde hair and blue eyes. No offense to anybody out there, but I've had run-ins with the space Nazis, and that's what they look like. So I don't like them. I don't care what you call them, Pleiadians or whatever, but they're
That's
breakaway
right.
space Germans and they're rapist assholes.
They are.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Corey had a question.
Do you mind sharing any experience you've had with the human angelic being in human form?
Oh, I was getting that. I was kind of around.
No.
Well,
I thought
anyway,
the same
she's standing there and her little body, she's hurling it against the wall, and she's putting the whole indent of her body. And I was like, I mean, she was pushing the drywall in 6 inches of her whole body, this little girl. And I know I got my angels on either side. Well, actually, they're my ATs. That's why I tell you I had Catholic programming. And because that's what I've always called them. And as soon as she sees me, she stops and she kind of does like this little football pose. She leans over like this. And meanwhile, Brian is terrified. He thinks she's possessed by demons, but she was getting attacked. But she bends down like this and goes. And Brian thinks the demon is smiling at us. But while she does this, you know, like those old religious paintings. I wish I could take this stupid thing off, but it went up over my head, the golden aura that she had, and it went to the floor on either side. And I was going, because she knew, you know, that I was bringing the cavalry, and she saw them with me. So she showed me who she was. I think that's what she did then. And I told her, you know, I'm a big cop and everything, and I got a gun, but when I get scared, I pray to St. Michael. Do you mind, Mom, if we do a little St. Michael prayer? And I put her in the bed. I let her hold my medal because I always wore it. Was my talisman. I'm born on Sunday, was police officer. That's my patron saint, St. Mike. But anyway, she fell asleep. I couldn't even get my own kids to sleep like that. Brian could not stop talking about it. The roll call the next day, but he didn't see what I saw, you know? And that was why they took her. She was extra special. She was closer to God. Whatever you want to call it, whatever you believe, she's closer to God. And she let me see her, and that's why they took her. And if you notice, when you look at some of us, when we're on camera, we glow too. And I haven't really seen any auras around, you know, a halo aura, because she had the halo aura, the one that went over her head to the floor. You know, the ones where you've seen the golden aura. And then they have the blue line over top of it. It was all gold and it had little sparkles, like those twinkly white lights on the Christmas tree, like all her other angels that were with her. And yeah, that's why they take us, because apparently we were closer to God. And even if you read, who was Agent Buried Alive, James Casbolt said it's a greater offense against God for them to torment us. Because I remember the SRA and them yelling at me to scream for my God.
Yeah, me too, Susan, me too. And when I was a police officer, they gave me the pin, the Archangel Michael pin, and I would use that too. But now I know I use all of my altars now. I don't call upon them because they always want something from me. I've learned not to ask for help from them. That's just me though, okay? That's how I work. I call in my dragons, I call in my mermaid selves, my lion selves. I've been everything and nothing. You know that. We've been everything. They're after us for our blood, okay? Because we have these abilities, and I'll be talking about that more in the class after. But I also have experiences as well as you. I'll go into a house and I'm like, where the demons at? I'm here. I
can tell you where all the ghosts are. It freaks people out because where I'm at, like I walked into the place I worked at, and the lady I work with, she's also does cranial sacral therapy, Reiki master, and everything like I am. and she can see. And I walked in, I'm like, oh, there's a guy in a bowler hat and Victorian clothing. He's up on the third floor in the corner, and that's where he stayed. And her husband started freaking out. He's like, when she takes me in me and she tells me about the guy in the bowler hat. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to freak you out, but I see him too. So yeah, he was a little freaked out. I was like, this spirit and that spirit's there. And I'm like, I don't even care anymore. I just tell people what I see.
You know, before
sometimes I ask them if they want to know, but
you know, I was like, how did I find this guy that was running away for, you know, murder? Like, you know, I told Chris, one of my officer friends that was with me on patrol, I'm like, hey dude, I'm gonna go get this guy, because the lieutenant would be like, hey, I want you to get this guy. And I'm like, all right, I'll be back. And I go, you know, he's at the Star Motel. I just know, I just have a knowing. I go, hey Chris, 45 me at the blah blah blah. No, I'm gonna go on break. You're crazy. I'm like, all right. So I go in there, knock on the thing, and the Asian guy says, oh yeah, he's on number 10. So I go in 10, Star Motel, number 10. I knock, hey, what's up? Turn around. And I gotta take you in. Oh man, you know. And then I find like some black tar in his fifth pocket where the other officer did. And so it's like everyone shows up. I'm like, I told you guys, I'm gonna go get these. You know, I'm gonna go get these people. But anyway, we kind of got off topic. Sorry. But
Hey, Vero, I have to sign off now. Just I want to say goodbye to everybody. Man, I'd love to talk to Susan. Susan, if I could talk to you sometime, it would be a real honor. I think I've got some cool, relevant things to share with you. But gosh, you guys are all amazing. I really have to go, and I'm actually going to go meet with someone that's like very, very gifted. So any of you guys that have the ability to like transcend over there and do your thing, do it. So peace and love. Our encouragement.
meet you.
Peace and love. Let's go on to this. If anybody wants to comment real quick, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen, because I'm going to talk about this whole CSRQSM. You guys ready?
I just want to share something really quick that I'm just fascinated by you all. And it's like listening to you, Kellie, listening to you, Susan. It's just like, it just stimulates my mind. It's really cool because like you're talking in layers, and it's like the layer thing is, I love following layers. So it just feeds me, where the rest of the world kind of bores me a lot. So it's like, I love hearing you guys talk, and it raises,
Oh my
what's
God.
cool is answers, it raises more questions. A good answer raises more questions. And that's what happened. So I had questions popping right and left, going like, Kellie, what's your mug say? Or what'd you do? What was your passion when you were little? I have questions. And that shows you how humanity, yeah, cool. There you go. So it draws, you draw people in, you draw people in. And I think that's what's going to really bring our world together, is that kind of dynamics that you're bringing to the table here. So I was just loving it, listening to you guys talk, but go ahead.
And Thom, while I'm listening to you guys, you saw me looking down. I'm videotaping. I got diagnosed with acute diverticulitis a month ago, and they're hitting me with psychotronic weapons in my intestines and colon. I just videotaped it. I'm putting up all this stuff. I've been hit so hard lately. I'm just fed up. I can't even walk outside and have it stop. It's like constant.
The attacks right now
These
are
waves of
yeah, people are being attacked off the charts.
it's crazy.
It's crazy. It's like they're going.
And I'm using this detector, and it's going up to 32. So yeah, that's way past healthy levels.
Okay. And you're a former police officer too, right? Detective?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that would. Yeah.
And now I do. It's all healing work. I told them I was going to be a hippie, and I was when I retired, and they thought I was lying. I'm not kidding. I'm doing all my woo-woo stuff. I've been doing it for over 12 years. I want to talk to Kellie about that too, because I want to see if Kellie's seen a lot more black goo on people when you're doing healing work. I'm getting those.
Do I have stories about the black goo,
spidery, octopusy things. I'm getting so many of those in the last couple of years, and now there's actually
what I found with the black goo and working with a few thousand people is when the concept of the black goo came up and people started talking about it, it started appearing. I didn't see it before then. So it seems to be some type of like, you think about it, you create it, like a program like that just sits there dormant if nothing is ever done, just sits there and looks pretty. And then when you call attention to it, it starts its little whatever it does. So self-activating, I guess. So when I had people, put thoughts elsewhere, then it just didn't come back. That's what I found out working with it.
Well, I got a question for you, Kellie.
On
I have a
people.
question for you. I don't know you, Kellie, but I have a question for you. I feel I can go ahead and ask if it's okay. I have a dynamic in my
Okay.
situation. Is that okay? Because it's like a dynamic that's going on as I try to do my work and finish my job, help the kids, that kind of thing, do my work and do my writings. I've had people say to me often, like one of our team members that's on our team now, she had said that she got sick before I showed up, that she almost panicked and threw up, got sick, and thought that I'd be something very dark and evil. When I showed up, she goes, "You're not that at all." It was like this rider thing that tries to paint me as evil. And then when I show up, they go, "You're actually really, really good and a good guy." And so something's riding to try to mislead people into thinking that I'm evil. In fact, Sophia Stewart, involved in our situation, that's a Warner Brothers plant, is saying Tom's the evil one. And now we got prophecies he's the evil one. So this rider on me is trying to paint me as the evil one. Then people actually get sick before I show up. And then when I show up, they go, "No, you're really an innocent guy. You're a good guy. Now we meet you. You're just direct, So I don't know if there's something that's done in the realms where riders are put on people.
It's happened to me too. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're like so cool." And I'm like, that's the artificial intelligence.
What is that?
That's the archonic artificial intelligence that's working with the elites, with
Okay, so
the
they
people
put
that are in, we'll just say this, okay? The Abrasics that are in Jupiter and Saturn, the Anunnaki, mixed with the Alpha Draconis, okay? They have the Greys working for them as watchers. And that's what they do. They'll hack into their AI system and then they'll throw some holograms at people and then put in fear. So
this is
go ahead, Kellie. Sorry, didn't mean to take over.
it's like a projection then. I'm just asking you guys if they're projecting something on these people, they get sick, and then they actually see something like you, Veronica, and I, and they go, "You're actually really good people."
Yeah.
So it's like
Based on fear.
Yeah, you'll get like for instance, when I was getting certified my quantum trance, and I was getting ready to do that because my husband doesn't trust anyone else going to his head for his memory, so I had to go do it. He went Omega the night before I was supposed to trance him, and he and they will do that. If they have the programming running, it'll start running them on a self-destruct program, and they will start running from you because you're the enemy. All of a sudden you're the enemy. As soon as you level up and you try to get them to level up, their old programming is trying to keep them low vibe. So it's, constant struggle you got to keep. And we're divine counterparts. So I go up because I'm a healer anyway. So I'm always doing stuff. And then I have to bring him with me. And then, keeps going like that.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. Is like today I just was told, Thom, you're a healer, teacher. Yeah, that's what I want to be. That's what I like doing. And then people attach ego and danger to you. And it's like, I don't have an ego. I don't have a danger, really. Not really as an ego as stands as like.
No, Thom, you don't get it. These people have been under MK Ultra. It is their programming that's saying, "Don't fix me, don't fix me, don't let me heal, don't let me heal. I'm supposed to be broken."
Right.
That's what's happening to them.
So it's
That's what's
MK
happening
Ultra.
to Frank.
The K is from the German. It's the Project Paperclip. Okay. If you look at the movie Manchurian Candidate, we all have a switch. Okay. And if you don't know who you are and you don't know how to guard yourself, they can really tackle you.
So those that would help you are considered a threat.
Yes.
It would be.
My own husband saw me as a threat. I did he was getting hit with V2K last night, and I've got him doing a parasite cleanse, his first one now. And he put the EMF detector up. He's like, right now it's telling me Susan is my enemy. Susan's trying to harm me. And you can see the EMF detector. He's like, this is what they're saying to me.
Yeah, and that's it. That goes
Go ahead, Chad. Voice to skull. Go ahead.
Just saying that's the V2K, the voice of God thing that I mentioned earlier.
Some people are like, "Oh, but God told me." Baby girl, that ain't no God. Right. That is another God. That is not. So.
And it'll cycle like maybe 3 phrases over and over. That's how it works.
They work with code words. Okay, so if you notice with Scientology, I'm gonna do that too in the class. Talk about that. When my one of my family members took me to the Church of Scientology, they had me on the e-meter. And I'm like, what the heck is this? And then she gave me a book. And then every time I'd yawn, I'm like, why am I yawning? And she would laugh at me. Oh, you don't understand something. You have to look it up on the dictionary. Well, guess what? Those are code words used to bring out alters in the secret space program and give you missions, assassination missions, whatever the heck they want, or whatever corporation, the Labyrinth Group, the Dracos, you know, the Navy. So remember the Navy, Army, they're all entangled, connected to a certain, we'll call them ETs and elites. So go ahead, Susan.
Oh, what were we talking about?
I think.
Oh, Thom, are you on IG?
Am I what now?
Are you on IG or Facebook or anything? Any social media?
Facebook, Twitter, getting the Instagram going again. I'm actually sort of a introvert, but I'm explained to be extremely extrovert. That's how I'm judged, but actually I'm a shy guy when it comes down to it. And the reason I wrote the screenplay was because that way I could reach the world without having to speak to them, really. Just write something and put it out there that might change the world for good. And it caused the opposite effect. Then I had to speak to save my son, basically. So that's why I do that. But I'm actually very, very shy. So
I have the same situation. I'm an introvert, but I have an extrovert defense. It's what I put on, you know, for the public in that sense. It's my signature. So
that's very honest. That's really cool. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chad. So yeah, I'm the guy that would love to go hang out with the plants at the party, and not go to the party. It's like, But, that's why when they say you're an egomaniac, you're out to, no, I'm not. I'm happy going with the puppies and the kitties and going to the swimming pool and, in the backyard and never appear. But let the world, I've got a responsibility. So yeah.
There's also your website I'd like to point out to, redpillrising.org. And it does have all the information on there. And Susan, that's a great place to go. Yeah. And I did make a donation on there anonymously, but then I was thinking, wait a minute, I want my name in your credits. Like I have to have my name in your credits.
Well, good.
But I'm going to make more donations. So on one of them, I will put my name, but the rest will be anonymous or whatever. But I'll make sure Veronica is a nice name. It has to be in your credits.
Here's a list of my credit mentions. I'm putting that down now. Thanks for saying that too, because I do want to honor that totally. And I'm also doing in memories of. This is really cool. One of the things I want to point out too about human nature, and I want to share this. And Kelly, I want you to have your turn here too. But Chad, thank you for sharing that. Definitely, I'm got it on the list now and appreciate it. But one thing I want to share about human nature is I felt a dynamic here that was interesting, and it was like, maybe. So it's like this. Humans seem to have this ability or necessary thing from the past to judge quickly, to make judgments quickly about other parties, especially when we never meet, to determine if we're safe or not safe. That is a quick, hardwired thing that we've had in us for fight, flight, whatever. I do agree with those simple dynamics as interpretations of how we operate from the base level. But it's like those interpretations that are determined immediately are often in some of us wrong right from the start so many times. And I think you were touching upon this, Veronica, where I think it's something we need to realize as a species is there. And then really we have to be able to free ourselves from that basic device or protection in order to go like, who is the person here? So that's why I want to see your coffee mug, Kelly. I want to see who you are. I don't know who you are, but you're camping, which is really cool to me. That's so cool. You've got like the freestyle hair going, which is really cool. You look like so laid back, but it looks like there's a lot of thought going at the same time. Not to analyze, but it's just, I don't know who you are, but it's like, just like this, but I have this sense of, she might think I'm some kind of idiot because here I'm going off right away about the, the red pill, blue pill thing. But, you read people and you're talking about the black book stuff. And so I was just like, I almost felt like, the shy guy was like, I'm going to get analyzed, and I hope it's a good read. But I'm just sharing, people go through this. I think, people go through this kind of stuff. And I try to be open book about it. So others that might watch go, yeah, I feel like that too sometimes. I feel like, people will make snap judgments. So I would even put myself on the spot and go like, if you wanted to do a read thing and go like spot what you thought, I would be open to that kind of judgment because that's what you do. Apparently you're skilled at reading people. Is that correct? I just
visions.
threw everything at you like the kitchen
she
sink.
sees.
But yeah, I'm an open
Well,
book.
thank
I'm an open book.
you.
Okay, for example,
know,
Tom, your layered thinking,
Veronica, what do I do?
that you have, she has a God bubble concept visualization of this that is amazing. But she'll put a visualization to all your layered thinking. She's
Cool. I wanted to
brilliant
honor
at
that.
this.
I wanted to honor that. I wanted to honor her
Oh,
abilities
she's
without
yeah.
restricting it. And I picked up the idea of, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Kelly. I'm just trying to open it up. That might be interesting.
I've been wanting to put her on the spot now for half an hour, so let's
Well,
do this.
The two shy guys, the two shy guys in the room are putting you on the spot. But the idea of like not negate, like negative or positive, not being a real general, like that was really interesting. But what I want to clarify this thing though, before you go, that if there's something that makes you feel awful or your mind chews on, that's what you put in your reference that your mind
God bubble
anymore. So that's why I wanted to clarify. You brought that up in a way, maybe unintentionally or intentionally, that allowed me to clarify that, which is very important. So that's it. Love your mug. And I'm glad you read people, because I think, Veronica, you and I both have had the situation, not to call you out, but that we've been often, people will go, I know that person. I know what you're thinking. And I'm like, no, you don't. You don't know what I'm thinking at all. But you read people, which I think is a fascinating, needed element in our society. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot of layers. But anyway, love the coffee mug.
LOL, lots of layers. I love it. No, I was thinking it was so cool that you were saying a whole lot of the same stuff that I say, just in your own words. And I thought that was really, really cool that all of us have kind of a common like this thing that we share. I mean, we express it in our own unique ways, and I thought it was way cool that you're expressing it. I thought that was neat. When I do work with people, and I for I don't work with people for free, but I do work with people that have like cancer or they're dying. I do work with them for free. So if you guys have anybody in that situation, please let me know. And I've got about a 99% success rate in people who are dying of cancer, of them healing themselves. But I think it's just a perspective thing. When I would work with someone, it's like, first you would look at, well, why do you want to be read? Why are you not trusting yourself in this? And look from that perspective. But just to look at it as many perspectives as possible from that, like the avatar level. It's like, maybe I've got some insecurities on this level. And then from I don't know, I just pick up words because, like I said, there's no numbers on the dimensions.
Sure.
Maybe like a higher self kind of level. Look at the avatar situation quite differently. Oh, that's one little aspect of what I'm doing. Still kind of in the ego, I guess, on every level. You're in the illusion, like you're in an ego somewhere. But then I back it up to like the bubble, like the nothing, I guess, that creates every.
Nope, we just lost her.
And you look at your situation from the place of I created it, without adding on the judgment, criticism, and all stuff that we typically do. Other level, and they are able to. I'm sorry.
Can you repeat the God bubble part? Because it broke up for that. And that's what I wanted to hear the most.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, the concept of the
I don't know.
God bubble.
Can you see it or no? The God bubble, kind of like there's like a circle in the middle, and then there's all these like colors that come out. Sorry, Kelly, yours is better. Put your eyeball in the middle. That's your God bubble. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. It's I've got it inside in like a little basket. I don't have one out here. I'm so sorry, but the concept of God knowing anything, not even like I see it as the potential to be, then you be. It's a circle. You break that down in chart form. You're looking at the highest color I see is the black light with all the colors in it. Mm-hmm. That I find, and it's programmed with feelings and emotions. And that, like, you as God create the black light and the white light that some people call the white light.
It's really breaking up.
Right, Kelly.
You're
breaking up.
Maybe the campsite.
I'm going to reiterate what Kelly just said. What she likes to do is take the God within and have a bubble within. So there's a place for us to take all our negativity and just place it into this bubble that's part of ourselves. It's our own true nature. But she'll take that bubble outside herself and she'll step into it and deal with things there and do her visualizations. But she always works with the God bubble that's from within her. So she's not reaching out to an entity. She's getting her answers from within. She also has a diagram of how the light and everything is broken up, and it goes to the white light. And then beyond that is the dark light, which has a bunch of multi-colors sparkling in there as well. It's kind of like it's a different light. So Kellie's back with us now.
It kind of sounds like we're talking about the same thing, which is really, really cool.
Exactly are.
Totally. Like how we deal with it. You got this bubble thing. I've got this, put it back in the reference library. I love this. This is really cool. Yes, you do. This is cool. I love it. That's really cool. Yeah. We got a snapshot there. Yeah. Oh yeah. Cool. See, this is cool. That's the whole thing about not negating.
There.
Yeah. Oh, couldn't tell you're talking. It's like freezing.
To me, I guess it centralizes everything with remote viewing and everything. When you're remote viewing from some layer in the drama, you're seeing it from all your filters and from that level. When you're remote viewing from the God bubble position and you see all of your creation, there's not any do not enter signs, no places that you can get. And when you're in the position of, I created these things that are terrorizing me right now. That's the avatar level. Like, I'm God, I created this for the avatar as a lesson, and look at a situation in a completely different perspective.
Well, that's
so anyway, really that's cool. What the God bubble stuff is.
I love it. Well, thanks for explaining all that. I think it really broke up a lot of that, but thank you for doing all that. And the visual, I love visuals. The visuals is cool. Getting visuals too. And the idea in performance, when you do performance, like I've done performances in shows, award-winning whatever performances, but the thing is that they teach us that too. You know, sense memory, thinking outside yourself and viewing yourself from the outside. That's part of techniques used also for performance, which is really cool. And I always say that performance isn't about lying. Performance is about telling the truth, get the most honest portrayal so audiences put themselves in your shoes and experience what you're experiencing as the character fully. The layers involved. So I this is really cool. I love this, getting to see different perspectives that coincide that are really, really cool. Yeah, that's good.
It's like calling in your altar. If you did Wolverine, some of us have wolf bloodline too. So Susan, don't we all have the wolf? So when there's a full moon, I'm like, am I gonna hunt tonight? I can't sleep. So it's pretty much calling upon your altars. Go ahead.
What I hear is it kind of comes natural to us, because as a teenager, I remember thinking, I like to observe myself in the situation I'm in. I would float out and imagine myself, but then it was always a goal of mine to observe the observer. I always wanted to go one step further. So that was always, but as a teenager, you know, we always had, I think we all kind of grew up with this thinking, but yeah.
That's right. I like, Chad, what you said too, not to take over, but it's like what you said about the shyness, and then you became, how'd you phrase it? Getting overt?
I have an extroverted defense. Yeah, it's what I use in public. I act like my opposite.
Right.
And I'm naturally more introverted.
Yeah. And so did you use humor too? As a shy guy, you use humor to try to work it, break the barriers down and create, and yeah, that's why I did it. That's why I did comedy. So I wanted to be able to connect.
I kind of play dumb too sometimes. I don't know. I just kind of
play dumb. What a great show. We're all from different perspectives, and we're dealing with this whole thing is really cool. Did you try to get rid of ego entirely?
I hate to admit that.
Try to get rid of ego. It's okay. I'm here. It's all good. It's good. I'm the same way. Did you try to get rid of ego? Like say, I'm gonna have ego. No ego. Did you try to do that?
You can't get rid of ego. We have a reptilian brain and a mammalian brain. So
it's kind of, I don't think Freud had the answers really. I think it's about, you know, the more positive we have in us. And I think you said a viewer had a question about how'd you deal with all the horror, right? It's like, well, that's what Kellie's talked about, what I'm talking about. There's a place that we can use that as reference. We can look at it, as she's saying, so I'll still learn what you're saying it too, but I get the idea what you're saying. It's like we can neuter it, contain it, take its power away, where it simply becomes a tool, those experiences, right? And then you have to deal with the trigger aspects. If that's in a reference library, I'm not going to be triggered by something that's listed as Ulysses, you know, or, you know, the 12 boring steps to legal mindsets. You know, it's like, if it's in my reference section, not going to affect me. It's like, oh yeah, that book, go ahead and take it, dust it off. I haven't read that in years. So it's like, yeah, it's dealt with. So I think we can make it so it doesn't harm us anymore. If I'm wigged out and wired on triggers and it's like, oh, you went there, and then, or going to a psychotherapist all the time to give me medication, I don't think I'm on the right trail to healing. I think I'm going the wrong way. So yeah, anyway.
I think we're all relating to this.
I use calm.
Calm is the word. Yes.
We
yes.
got
yes. And the winner of the
Good,
calm
good.
environment, yes. Chad and Kelly got the calm environment award. And I love the interesting background you have, Susan. But I commentate. They called me Lucky Strike on tours. When I went on tours like Shakespeare and stuff, they said I was Lucky Strike because I never filtered anything. But I think that's okay if it's all positive inside. But yeah, anyway, to you all, very good. This has been fun.
Learned
Okay,
a lot.
I wanted to go through the this
Oh, that paper you
CSRQ thing real quick, but if you have any more questions, because this I'm probably going to take like maybe just 10 minutes on it.
Go ahead.
Should we go into it and then we'll talk about whatever we want after? Because this is very important. People have been telling me, hey, Steve Martinez actually sent me a TikTok video, and I'm like, what? And then Robert Kindler was supposed to be on, our other SSP guy, friend, brother, and he's in Paris, and he couldn't make it. But he's like, are you going to talk about this? Nobody's talking about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to talk about it. Let me talk about it. So talk about it.
One more question too, because there's a viewer that had a question, Heather, and they wanted to know something about ley lines and vortexes, and if you had any experience with ley lines, vortexes, and I'm thinking Kelly and Susan, are going to have some answers there. Not myself so much,
Okay.
but.
Yeah, no,
But I know it definitely ties into the arenas too, because I know those arenas are on ley lines. I mean,
Yeah,
their whole, they have our whole world kind of gridded on those. So
well, yeah, the churches and
I
the
think-
governmental places, the schools, they all have ley lines so they can suck the luge of the people and then feed it to the other two matrices that we talked about earlier. All right, so this real quick, talking about the universal basic income, Gideon, you can look this up on Oculus Labs on the internet. So I am not stealing any work here, okay, YouTube? I'm reading it off the Google,
okay,
which is part of Google Mafia that I talk about. So Gideon is like, the universal basic income will work. After a collapse, it will be embraced by most people. There will still be job requirements. If you don't actually do your job, your UBI is gone. Now you are broken homeless. And Bill is saying, why would someone become a brain surgeon? They have them in, the word, that C word right there, countries. So how is that possible? Now imagine if you lived in Cuba and you have nothing and the government officers give you 5 extra coupons for bread and rice per month. All right, this all goes, let me read the last one. You have to realize real eyes or real lies, a liar will lie. The cabal is going to downsize the model of American consumption. How many times must it be said, you'll own nothing to be happy? I reject that. And then I'm gonna go up here to what the actual credit system is, that they're trying to do this global reset. And all you people, that are loving your white hats, look at this. There are actionable truths and passive truths. They want you to focus on passive truths. Well, let's see here. I don't know, guys. About CS, here we go. What CSRQ tag SM will mean for your life in the future? Social management software. Do you realize that Google Mafia, that Microsoft has this already? And the PDRs, in our phones, in our, we'll say Snapchat, Facebook, all that, owned by Metaverse, which I call it Metaverse, it's a shell company from China. I've been talking about this for a long time and a lot of people laughed, and here it is. You guys want this reset? I don't want it, because I know who's behind it. Some of us do. Software is a program that will be used worldwide by selected governmental and banking institutions, meaning the bankers in space and the Black Project,
Right.
when financial reset occurs. All right, here we go. The financial reset will be complete restructuring of the current system, eliminating all existing fiat currencies overnight. That's why people for years have been saying, I've been telling you guys, get your silver, get your gold, because you're gonna have to trade.
Mm-hmm.
The CSRQ tag SM software will intercept all banking transactions, all credit and debit card transactions, and all known financial transactions over a period of 3 to 5 days once the system is activated. A worldwide monitoring network. Wow. Okay. Here we have the watchers again. Network is being implemented to scan and update end user accounts based on social behavior. I feel like a kid again. The currency plan to be used is known as USDR. For those with a Japanese bank account, for example, their yen will be converted to USDR overnight. Nearly all countries on Earth will use the new system. The software is designed to process all financial transactions centrally and issue social credit scores for all users.
Mm-hmm.
And here we got EU coming in. People will share their social score status online and compare them to each other. Why the heck would you want to do that? To encourage? I'm mad about this, all right? And here we go. I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started. When the conversation takes place, you will see new information when you log into your bank account, including screens indicating your social credit score. The social credits will operate on a scale from 1 to 1,000, with 1,000 being the highest score achievable and 1 being the lowest. No bank account shall contain more than $1,000 USDR actually at any time for C-class accounts, which includes 99% of the world. How all of us here, I'm pretty sure, are you a sovereign there, Thom or Kellie? Pretty much we're C-classes, right?
Well, because I did what I did, I'm told I'm a C class. Well,
all right, I know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, all right? You know what I'm saying? Separate accounts known as Class S accounts are reserved for governmental leaders and the highest echelons, meaning military, of the rich and elites of the world. Class S accounts can be contain unlimited USDR funds and have additional privileges. Wow. To gain social score points, here we go, brownie points, people. Are you gonna sell your bloodline? Are you know what I'm saying? All right. To gain social score points, people will be encouraged to get baby Jabberwocky and engaged in other activities. I already have a strike because I've been talking about this stuff for a long time. Everyone must immediately comply with the new system, not me. Those who resist, those who protest or complain online will receive immediate fines and deductions to their score and account. It is expected in the first month, about 20% of the human population will have their accounts reduced to nearly zero due to bad behavior. Wow, it's like getting slapped by the nun, right? But that inside joke there, Thom. But that by the second month, this behavior will be corrected. Really? How? According to the documentation for the software, once people realize they can't have more than 1,000 USDRs, and well, I fit in the USDR thing there, and can easily lose it with unapproved behavior, they will change their behavior and comply. You know what, guys? You guys wanted this white hat. We're gonna do the 107 Michael Jacob reset. You wanted it, you asked for it. I do not consent with this. And here's the contact information. And anyway, this is going to be part of the class that I'm giving. I'm done sharing.
Well, you know, this is actually in the good place. In the good place, they got this, where they were showing their social scores and they try to increase their social scores. And then they go through this thing where, well, if I do this intentionally to get my social score up, it doesn't count to increasing my score. So it's in the good place, which has my son listed as Sean Michael, October 14, 1982, right in the good place. So yeah, I was supposed to be part of this kind of idea. So yeah, so it's not right.
You were sovereign, Thom, and now
I was supposed to be a leader in it. Yeah, I was supposed
to. And I was too, because they had me working in I was in the military as a cop. Good, GIRL, which is code word. I can't stand that. And because I started talking.
Mm-hmm. Plus, we were considered, as stupid as this sounds, this is really it.
You too, Kellie.
They consider us interesting, fascinating. They say your work is fascinating. That's, we're fascinated by your story, your work. They can't figure us out, so we're stimulating to their mind, which is exactly what happened in the screenplay, where the architect needs stimulation. He doesn't want to be bored. He wants to have stimulation. And so he wants people around that are stimulating. So apparently you and I are stimulating, but it's funny because Chad, you have the same exact description I have, and you're a writer and everything. And so how do they differentiate between us all? You know, what draws the line of distinction? What makes us interesting? It's their own fantasy world where they come up with this idea. You know, it could be that I have blue eyes, and it doesn't matter. It's just, it's weird. Their parameters are just off the charts weird for how they select people. And yeah, they actually in Schindler's List, they show this in Schindler's List. Spielberg actually does, this is interesting. Spielberg does Schindler's List, and it's to make him out to be a good guy. But he says about, you know, saving the people, Schindler's saving the people. Well, it's Spielberg himself that was killing my family and killing my sons. He has it in Minority Report. So he does Schindler's List, does a Minority Report, Saving Private Ryan, about, you know, Sean being killed and Tom is going to be put away. But in Schindler's List, they go through that process of who's going to be selected, medically examined, who's going to be selected to be taken to the camps to be killed, who's going to be selected to be taken to be put in the workforce. And Schindler, the one guy who's the bad commandant, even steps in at one point and says, no, what are you doing? She's good to work. Don't take her. So what is the parameters for who is good and who is not? Nobody can make that judgment.
Now, you know what, Tom? If you guys look at the Oculum thing, I posted stuff on Instagram, and they were saying, you know, Gideon and Bill were talking, and they're saying, oh, well, so-and-so is listed as, you know, he has these things that he got, and he's on TV. What are you going to do after? Oh, we'll just get rid of him. So it's like the people that are on TV, will say, they have hidden agendas. They're, you know, it's like, why are they letting people on? Like,
well, that's interesting. Like, you know, Matthew McConaughey, you know, is that his name, Matthew McConaughey?
Matthew McConaughey, yeah.
I don't mean to step on anybody's toes that they're fans of him, but isn't it sort of convenient that Matthew's hometown is the one where the gunmen show up at the school? Isn't that kind of convenient that he gets top spokesperson through the mainstream media to be the poster child of speaking, or poster guy to speak? He was an actor discovered at a bar, and he wasn't going to do acting. Then he could be popular if he did acting. I mean, I'm sorry, but he's not really my hero, you know. And
He
so
used
this
to be,
actor is
not
now
anymore.
supposed to lead us. Yeah, it's his hometown where the shooting. I'm sorry, it's a little too convenient where he was all ready to go and be the spokesperson. It's not my spokesperson. You know, I'm a performer too when it comes down to it. I did my job as a performer also and writer. But I'm sorry, I just see this a little too, it was just ready to step in that new role. And we ask who are the ones that are playing the game. We can at least see who they're promoting, who the mainstream's promoting, who the cabal's promoting, grooming, Keanu Reeves, him, Tom Cruise. These guys, you know, they get the grooming, the promoting, everything. And it's full on by the cabal. So we may not see the men and women behind the curtains often, but we see the product of who they're pushing for us to emulate and follow suit with.
Yes, and even, thank you, Tom, even Orlando Bloom and Max Spears, our brother Max Spears was supposed to be an actor. But they chose, thank you, Eve, for being here. But they chose Orlando Bloom to be on in Petalwood in Hollywood, and then marry supposedly one of the high priestess witches, whatever.
Well, you just did it. Yeah, that's exactly right. They pick out the husband, they pick out the wife. They cast a show that way. They cast you in the roles you're supposed to play. So they put power couples together where they cast it, you know, and it's like everything's done, everything's set up for you, your home, your everything, your black card, everything's set up for you. And that's what they told me. Whenever they approached me, they say, your life is over. As you know it, you're one of the elite now. Don't try to make a difference, is the caveat. But you'll have everything you need. You're going to love this. Wait till you see all the information you'll have and all that stuff. Well, that's why they don't want people like ourselves swinging over to help the public. The basic rule they say is don't try to help the general public. Don't.
Yeah,
Don't
they want us to not, you know how with the kings and queens, you know, they'll only go to the peasants and maybe say hi once in a while because, oh, you're too good to be seen. And no, they can't touch you. Maybe once a week they can, you know, tap your hand or whatever the heck. But Susan and Eve, you guys and Chad, of course, the Super Soldier program, the reason why they don't want us all together is, I always say this, one of us is the power of 10,000 suns. And when we're together, we are very, very strong. And that's why they want to keep us away from our twin flames. So Eve, you want to say something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can feel the energy here. The one point I want to add to it to finish this thought too with you is that take the line that what I was just told, what we were told, what you were told, what I'm told is that we're not supposed to make a difference for the public. So therefore, when they groom these guys like Connolly, Bloom, Cruz, Keanu Reeves, they're not working for us. They're not working for the public. They've already been given the same speech I have. Don't try to make a difference. And then they're given these positions as if to represent our voice. No, they're not working for us. That came with the job. They're working against us. They're working for themselves. You have to sell out in order to get the suits, the cars, the wives, the husbands, and the payoffs. So I think that's something people need to be awake on and aware of, that beware the Hollywood FBI grooming and the big
and Tom, it also goes into, we'll talk about the right path too. Okay, the love and light. Are you going to sell yourself off to a demiurge, whether it be Baal, whether it be, which God, quote unquote, God wars, I call it, are you going to go through for your life? We'll say, I don't know, business or whatever to change. And it's like,
no, the cabal's success is not worth it. The cabal's success, everything you offer you, going to change your life. If you hear the speech, you're going to be one of the elite now, change your life. Don't receive it. It'll go against your very core that's in your humanity, that's in your very, what do you say, that God sphere thing? Like, it'll go against who we are at our basic level, because there's a rider on that says you will not help. You're not going to help people. It'll be based on success and power. It is not worth it. Rather be the shy guys we are and the shy women that you are. Let's be the ones that we have no regrets for
right.
what we've done.
And thank you for saying no regrets. Eve, what did I tell you? In 2021, in December, I said 2022, baby, the year of no regrets.
I didn't know that. That's awesome. That's really cool. It lines up nicely. It flows when it's in the right hearts, and these are good hearts. So I never met Eve, I don't think, but I'll stop talking.
But not Eve Howard.
Hi guys, thank you. Sorry I was late. I really apologize for that. I was running late at work today, but thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Anytime.
Hi Susan, Chad, Kelly, Thom, nice to meet you.
Meet you.
So Eve is also a super soldier. She's actually in the twinning program with me through Scientology and through Secret Space. And I'm in the Hulk program as well. I'm in all the programs. Eve is in the Gamora. I'm her Nebula. And we are twin sisters. Susan as well. She is the Phoenix. When I met her in person, we cried because we remembered each other from when we were little. Susan and Frank, and I got you guys.
That's so cool. See, I'm not a super soldier. I'm the wild card. I'm being dubbed now.
You're the Joker?
The wild card. So yeah, that's the wild card. So anyway, yeah, groomed by the inside, working for the out.
I'm the misfit. I'm a part of the misfit. I'm a misfit.
We're the family of
You're Herbie. Herbie from Rudolph, my favorite characters.
I've been told this by psychics even.
Awesome. I love that character.
I always told everybody, I always felt like a misfit, like the misfit toys from the Santa Claus. Yeah. And then everybody, when we finally got together, it's like, we're not misfits.
No.
Special, Now I'm not talking special like that, no offense, But
that works. The misfit toy. I was supposed to be the Tommy in the box. Charlie in the box.
I remember those worms that they used to give us when we would win prizes in elementary. Boom, there goes the worm.
I'm like,
yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So anybody want to say something before we go?
Well, I think I don't know. We have Thom here, and so he's.
Wait, we still have those things you want to talk about, Chad. Sorry, Thom.
I don't know what thing.
The grid lines, and then
right, the ley lines.
Yeah, the ley lines.
The grid line. Okay, grid line, ley lines. Let me lead into that though, because she wanted to know grid line, ley lines, and vortexes. If anybody had information on that. Now I know our arenas are set on ley lines, and Thom has a vision of even the fake oval house. This showed up in his movies. 90% of what we're going through has showed up in either the Matrix or the other movies that they dissolved his scripts and shuffled them into. So he also has visions of us going into arenas. They're going to go into the arenas and And then they're going to ship the women and the children out and then leave the men in there. Basically, New Orleans was a dry run, right? Then they shut off the food supply and they tape everybody killing each other, and they show it to the elite and say, look, they really couldn't be. They were animals. So you're sitting in front of some of the strongest ladies that I know of as far as vision. That's why I call Kellie vision. You know, she has to close her eyes to stop visualizing sometimes, from what I understand, because she can see the color of the, the magenta. She has to close her eyes because she sees too much magenta from the earth, So, I mean, these are some, I know you guys have seen the buses. I know you've seen visions of certain things happening. If you're comfortable talking about any of that, or confirmation, this is the man that's predicted it all, that they're going by his narrative. It'd be interesting to hear what you've seen.
Well, I've talked about
play
it
out.
times, many times. I have a glass pad. I'm in a suit, and Chad's with me on my right side. And for the longest time since 2017, I didn't know who that man was. He had like grayish hair, very tall, pantsuit on. And then I hear a knock on the door, and then I turn around and my kids are in like an atrium thing. Okay, my kids are safe. And so Chad and I were like, okay, let's go, because these men in black are coming. And I'm running, we're running, Chad. And in the glass pad right before, I see that an orange line going from, we'll say, South Africa up to up that way. And then I see another line going from like Mexico to the United States. So orange. Okay, I see a red line and an orange line on my glass pad. And I'm like, holy F, did I just press that? What happened? Because I was just holding it. And then that's when the men in black came, and that's when we booked it. We left, we ran, and then the next scene, we're underground in Mexico somewhere. We're on the border. Remember, under the border, they have the Chinese and the Germans just waiting at the ready. A lot of people don't know this. And there's the yellow buses, and there's a girl in the orange jumpsuit. A friend of mine from a few years ago comes up to me, says, "Are you gonna come rescue us, Vero?" And I said, "Yes, we are." They take them on the yellow buses. The other scene, okay, the other memory, I'm piecing all this together since 2017. I've been having these visions. Ever since I was a kid, I've been having visions, but this specifically, since you asked, Chad. The next scene is Susan, Johnny, Gomez Paz, Eve, my super soldier friends, and I, Chad, Glenn Roos, Frank. We are all watching from the ship above. We're watching as the water floods, and as the wave comes out, I'm seeing people come out, children, animals, even an elephant, a tiger come out. And I tell everybody, come on guys, let's get them on the ship. There's 3 screens. And I said, make sure that they watch this. I go upstairs to the top deck, and there's this little guy with goggles, and a hat that looks like an Italian guy. He's short, kind of reminds me of a Gray, big old eyes. Then he makes me small, and then I'm looking up at him. Then he grows me up again, and he hugs me. Someone told me that was Bush, because when Bush died, supposedly died, we were able to get some of our memories back. Okay, and then the next scene is when one of my family members gives me a red round thing, and then there's 2 family members that are with me. She hands it to me, and then there's a door that opens, kind of like Star Trek. And there's another ship there, and it's Hillary Clinton with the harness on top, another family member, and a bunch of politicians in catatonic stage. And I blast them out. Next thing that happens, we're in Mexico somewhere. I think we're in Mars, could be in Mars, because I was talking to Johnny yesterday. Could be in Mars. And we're cooking. Susan and I are cooking up a storm. We've had many memories cooking. Eve is there. We're all there, and we're serving these, people. The men had taken care of the men, and then us, we took care of the men, and the women and the children, and then we all come together, and we're eating, and we've won. So what do you guys have looked? Let's start with Susan, Kellie, and then Eve, please.
I've had a lot of memories of, and I like to cook. But here's the funny part is I would rather do the warrior stuff. I want to be doing the warrior cop stuff. I wouldn't want to be in the firehouse cooking the meals for some kind of fundraiser, because to me, that's what it would be like. But shoot, keep losing my train of thought. What was the question again? It's been happening to me where they stop my.
Oh, I know they do that.
Curious
Chad,
about
go
your
ahead.
visions,
What was that again?
your visions into what some of the things that might be heading our way.
Oh,
So like some of
okay.
what you might think, because we think there may be something that involves arenas and buses and orange suits, and then maybe an extraction,
I know
something
you
like
guys
that.
keep seeing that where, but I keep seeing this thing where we're all coming together, and me and Veronica are wearing traditional dress. We have like these white kind of peasant blouses on and these really beautiful long skirts, and it looks Mexican, kind of looks Romanian. I don't know,
Like in
but
Mexico. Yeah, after everything happens.
yeah, and they basically gave me a fish, a chicken, and a pig, and a bag of rice and beans and some spices that would have just fed like 30 people. But somehow, well, actually, rice might have fed 30 people if I just put everything in the rice. But we were like Jesus, and we kept cooking, and the food kept multiplying, and it was really wild. So I'm looking forward to that timeline where we can have
Yeah,
a gathering.
it's
Okay,
funny
that's
that
more
you,
on my timeline. Yeah.
Huh?
I said that's a little more. I have a vision too. It's a corny one, but I keep thinking land is going to rise out of the oceans, and I'm
that's
going
what
to
they want, Chad. That's
throw
what
my
they
sweet.
want. They're messing with
Well,
the tectonic plates. Yes,
well,
that's
I think
coming.
CERN does something and causes
CERN,
it, maybe.
yes.
But that's when I throw on my wetsuit,
Yes.
and that's when I hop in a boat, and that's when I go get on that land that's never had any sacrifice on it, and I claim it. And they can come try and take it from me, and there better be something behind me protecting me, because they're gonna have. No, that's our land. That's my
That's our
vision. We
land.
all come together, but who knows? We'll see what happens. But I do see us coming together. That's my hope.
Oh yeah.
But you do have to charge up the ley lines where we're at because they're using them against people. And when I first moved here, I have my practical magic house on the ley line, because I'm also a Reiki master, and I'm a remote viewer, and I'm a psychic medium. I have all the clairs, it's not a little kid, but I have my room here is set up so that there's no floors above me. So everything goes right back to source, you know what I mean? And we've had quite a few times where we were doing some magic, and then we get hit in the head, like I feel like we got hit with a sledgehammer, an energetic sledgehammer, because I'm trying to pour golden. I don't know if any of you remember it, but we used to have this healing honey, and it would drip from the floor and it would drip from the ceiling. It was crazy. But anyway, I was visually pouring this into the ley line. Let me get rid of this stupid thing. So they didn't like it because they've got the ley lines going in the wrong direction. And if you're in a, like I have an old Victorian house, look for, if you want to sit on the ley lines, look for the old historic churches. They're all in the ley lines. And that's, you don't need a pendulum for that. And actually, I used the ley line, which is uncorrupted at ESETI, to find Frank, because there wasn't anywhere I could pull in the power. And it took some pictures. I mean, ships were for my video when I was there, because I was trying to find him. I knew he had my memories. And there was a countdown going on, that I only had so much time left. And to the point where it was weird. We had to meet by, there was something where, I mean, this is how intense this stuff was. I had to find him before November 1st, and that was July of 2019. And we had to meet before November 1st of 2019. I don't know why this
I
is
remember all
important.
that. Yeah, you were living with your mom, and you're like, I gotta find my twin flame. I know he's near. Yep.
But before, and then I was at a conference down in New Orleans, and I guess we knew each other for a couple of weeks. I'm like, look, you got to get off so you can meet me down here. I was like, because I was literally hearing an air raid siren for a couple of days till I booked his flight. It was awful. So I knew the countdown was on. I knew it was on at ESETI. I had to rip 2 holes in the matrix to actually, and I got a picture of it. One of my friends that reads energy was like, look, Susan, you ripped holes in the matrix that day. Look at the clouds. And within a couple of weeks, I found him, and I thought that I was, that maybe I put the kibosh on things, because my thing was when I was sitting in the SETI meditating, I was like, if this includes love, because I didn't want to fall in love again, I will take it. And I actually had to accept that, because some of us we're going through ascension, like me are, but we're pushing it away because we've been through so much trauma already. Because you're some trauma when you meet your divine counterpart, because they've traumatized them to keep you away.
Yeah, they approach them.
Wow, I kind of hear Veronica's vision, and then I see yours kind of happening afterwards. I see kind of like a timeline there.
You know what? Johnny has the one after as well. Johnny's going to be on with us, Eve and Susan and Chad, if you want to be on. I just found out last night that he is my true twin flame. He's married in this lifetime. We've been together in the Victorian times and before, eons and eons. And I had to finally break the contract because I had to release him about something that happened in the past. But that's a story for another day. And we'll be talking about what his vision is after. And I find that interesting. But where's Kellie?
I remember you and Johnny.
She was
up there
getting attacked
together.
by an insect earlier. I don't know if it.
Was she? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
he has the memories after as well.
He's outdoors.
Yeah, hopefully she'll pop on again. Eve, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just came into like some information with my guide, and I've been getting this countdown. It started, I'd probably say about 4 days ago. I started seeing 3, 2, 1. There's a countdown going on right now. And also I've been having like this vision since like last year. When I was in Arizona, I went out rock picking and I kept picking up this coral. And I thought, well, this is weird. Why would there be coral in the desert? And immediately, as soon as I said that, I immediately knew that Arizona would go back to a desert. But I keep seeing this shocking line going straight from south to north, where it's going to be affecting the East Coast. And I've had a couple other people just come up to me and randomly say the same thing. So I don't know if it's, if it's a vision or if it's a prediction, because, claircognizant, I've been working on my clairvoyance, being clairvoyant, and been having some visions, but most of it is just a knowing. I have, no proof other than other people that have backed up and said the same exact story that I've said, but it will go from Mexico up all the way into Canada. And that's all that I can really see at this point. That's what I've been seeing for like the last year. I just didn't really I hesitated to really actually say it out loud. But I feel like we need to be aware of everything that is going on, because there's going to be so many chaotic changes, and I'm seeing all within by the end of the month and the beginning of August.
I was speaking to our other SSP brother, Colin. He told me to keep calm because, they were putting all these things about the NUCL, whatever thing that was going to happen. They're trying to make this end thing happen. And he told me, remember, Veronica, we got to keep calm. And, he doesn't know that I use that word calm. Now, 3, 2, 1 is very interesting. I got goosebumps everywhere, Eve, because there's a neighbor that walked by yesterday, and I hadn't seen her for like a month and a half. And she was on her phone. She says, Vero, every time I walk through your apartment, I see butterflies. And I'm like, guess what? That's not the Monarch program. That's because my friends are coming together with me. And that includes you, Thom. And we're in it together. I know that you're a big key to bring down Disney and all them a-holes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, they getting phone calls interrupted all the time with men talking on the phone. And my mom had a 3 punch in. She just asked me the other day, why did 3 show up on her phone? It beeps onto her phone. And I said, well, I don't know 3, Trinity, I don't know what it means exactly, but you said 3, 2, 1 is a countdown. And there's always been purposes for these numbers appearing.
The final countdown, there's a song. It's the final countdown. 3, 2, 1. Real
This is
quick,
the
Tom.
interesting thing. The cabal is actually imitating art. When you think about it, they made billions off this stuff. They always say they're fascinated with the work, and Chad said it too. I want to show you real quick, just real quick. Here's the fake Oval Office in the original work. Fake Oval Office, original work from the screenplay. And what also is in here later coming up, we've got the food shortages, and we also have this, I think is interesting. Here is the stadium, where you go to the stadium with all the kids and everything. You have to go to the stadium. Oh, I don't have it there. Stadium. So the stadium's in here too. The old stadium. I don't know if it's showing there. Yeah, the old stadium. There it is. So everything's in here. They're imitating art, and they don't want to be bored. So what's interesting is we have the map, really, of what they're imitating. We're the authors. We are all collectively the authors of this story, and they're in our story. That's what I'm saying. One voice, one story. You're all part of this. There's no accident for meeting, for sharing, and those listening in. There's no accident. You're here. And so that's what I was given. I said, I just will be the scribe. I'll do it faithfully. I'll follow what I'm given. And all this came, they're fascinated by it. It's all coming true, including Neuralink, and you name it. That's me just trying to be obedient as a shy guy, you know, and put it down, you know, serve my responsibility. So this is our story that they say has changed the world. And it was also written that people like ourselves would fit in a world where people start thinking along the lines of more compassion, kindness, love, and also layered creative thought. So here we are in a world where we fit because of a film that I was given basically through. You know, it's like, it was just, where does it all come from? They say everything's been done under the sun. Well, all this is new, including the tech. And it just flowed. It's all I had to do is be obedient and try to get rid of the ego as much as possible, which I think is a shy guy thing to do, right, Jen? So I think is what we did. So as we want to do, we get rid, you know, and the work came. So I'm just saying, we have the map, we have it, and we have a way for a better world. And all of us are part of the story. All of us are adding our pieces, and there's no accident why we gather. And it's nice to meet you guys on this end of the story of my journey. And yeah, come together with other people that are important to the story. So nice.
Thank you, Tom. You know, when Eve was talking and she said 3, 2, 1, there was a phone call, and I don't know what I said hello because I thought it was Kelly, and it's 928-222.
I've been seeing 222.
3.
I see it several times a day.
Right?
What's that?
The phone number was 928-222-3001. Go ahead, Eve.
I've been seeing 222 probably about 6 to 7 times a day. I had a ticket printout at work, and it was 222. And every time I look at the clock, it's 222.
Mm-hmm.
I do it in the morning. I do it at night or in the afternoon. That number has been very prevalent.
You know what that means? You know what that means? Remember, when I was a little kid at 1 year and 8 months, they took me in for the wormholes, and you guys went through stargates. Remember, Susan? So it's a reminder. We're doing our traveling. We're going through wormholes, and it's about to happen here in the 3D. So we gotta.
I also had coincidence with numerology as well. Because I believe, okay, I received visions, and I also believe like whatever's guiding me and protecting me showed me Thom, you know, because it let me know this is why this is going on. And for a long time, I've always said I'm going to make, well, it started out 85 million. I said, one day I'm going to make $85 million. And people would just laugh at me. And then all of a sudden it switched and it went to 83 million. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I'm going to make $83 million then one day. You know, that's what I was feeling at the time. So I just kept going with it. For years, I've been saying 83 million. And then I look and Thom has $830 million that he's owed. And I'm like, which I think is that the correct number? 800 and
it went from
800 million.
800 million, then it went to 1.2 billion is what the cabal is estimating.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw 800 million 300. So now my number's changing.
Wow.
My number's no longer 83 million. I'm changing my number a little higher after I saw your 830 million. So
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I had that coincidence as well. I don't know. So now you're saying you're worth 1.5
They're
billion?
claiming the cabal, who the contacts that call me say it's worth 1.2 billion now your work, because it's common knowledge your work was taken and derived into all these different works. So now it's estimated.
Okay.
Last estimate was about 1.2 billion and growing. The more now
Okay. So do you ever see that money?
I haven't seen a dime of my money yet.
Will you ever see that money? And I have a second question.
I believe, yes, I'll see a
Okay.
substantial sum, but if I'm still alive, when I'm still alive, I would say when I'm still alive, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I will.
And more importantly, I'm curious because I just couldn't imagine having my work blasphemized. That's why their hands
That's the hard part.
will not touch it. Like I can't stress that enough. And they did it to you. So I'm just curious, does your work ever see, I know you're going to release the script and some people are going to get to express themselves, you know, in their own way. But do you ever get to see it in fruition?
Yeah, the plan is to actually make it as written. So this right here will be made as it is, all 128 pages. And the cabal is always saying, you know, let's do blends. Like I said, the Cypherman writers from Marvel Comics want to do a blend. I've got texts and emails all the time saying, let's do a blend of the work. I don't want to do a blend. The only way people are going to wake up or see what's really here, especially with this blue counter movement now, or going against the blue movement, is that they need to see the original work, how it all ties together pre-Matrix, which the date on the copyright shows pre-Matrix. So we need to make it as is in order to use it as a tool and also let people have the experience that originally intended. That would be the suave for it being taken and bastardized, because it was so badly bastardized, is they simplified everything. They didn't want to explain it to people. That wrenches my heart, because it's supposed to be an experience everybody gets. And now the push is he won't show the full thing. Well, I'm showing the scenes that match and I'm showing things that pertain as we go. But I'm not going to show the full things. People aren't supposed to have the full experience. But that's the push they're trying to do now. Either blend it or have them try to negate it so it won't be made, that everyone's already saw it. So no one's going to make it. No one's going to be interested in seeing it.
Yeah, I see what they're trying to do is they're trying to make the John Wick, Keanu Reeves movie blended with the Matrix. And the fourth Matrix was horrible. I watched it one time on Telegram. I'm like, no thanks. It was.
You know why? Because they were trying to rush it before we came forward, the documentary and everything, cash in before and not make sense of it. Also, they claimed they were writing from the world of Thom Althouse's work, basically, if I can call it my work. You know, it's supposed to be for everybody, but they were writing from that world. Their expert witness said Thom Althouse created a fantastic world. That's his words. Their expert witness when they're throwing our case. But that's how they thought they'd get away with it. Make it up from the world he created. Therefore, they can't be called on plagiarism. You know, but actually they know they're intentionally ripping it off, and they're throwing, you know, even the idea of the little girl at the end was saying, what all these things are being told to me now. I haven't seen it, but they're telling me that, yeah, it's what's in there, bastardized, so nobody will see it. Nobody will go and see it, they say. That's what Sophia Stewart called and said. No one's going to go and see your work because it's already done. Well, that means they plagiarized it. They used it.
Mm-hmm. What I find interesting is, you know, they show Keanu Reeves old and stuff, and they're trying to say, oh, he doesn't have his powers. They're trying to tell us that we're using these programs that we don't have powers, that our power is going to be taken away. That's BS. We can never lose our powers. Even in 11, in Stranger Things, where they try and take our powers away, we can't.
That's why I teach layered thinking. The reason I'm saying about layered thinking is, in order to program us, we have to be focused on one thing to be programmed. If we have multi-awareness and layers of thinking and processing, we can't be focused in for the reprogramming. We won't be focused into reprogramming because we're aware of things all the same time, all levels, where they can't program us. It's a protection from being programmed. So, and they know that. So they're afraid of that layered thinking idea catching on. And many people have a variation of that. They're very aware of this idea. I'm simply framing it and saying, look, this is something that's real. And many people have experienced this before they even heard me talking. You know, they've thought of thinking in layers, feeling in layers. And again, I say feeling in layers, that's what we're taught as adolescence. We go through adolescence to prepare us for that dynamic adulthood, dynamic beings that feel and think in layers. That's why adolescents are going through that. It prepares them for adulthood. It makes sense, I think. And so by feeling lots of things, we tell the kids, oh, you'll just get through it. Just get through. You know, even my son said to me, Aiden's amazing. He's 15, honor student, soccer, piano, you name it. He's going through everything, cut off from family, everybody. He still hangs in there and does great. He said to me, Dad, I'll get through this adolescence and I'll be back to, I'll be back to being your son fully on again. But right now you have to bear with me when I go through all these emotional changes. I'm like, this is preparing you for adulthood. Let's celebrate it, embrace it, develop it, go with it, feel multi feelings, and think the multi-layer thoughts.
Thank you. We're gonna end this, but what I got something from someone right now. I was trying to tell this person about what we just all talked about, what I just showed you online. And this person says, well, if this were true, we humans are destroying this planet, no matter what anyone says. We, not them, we all have a piece of blame. So no matter what conspiracy people make of it, our planet is being destroyed, and all these V words showing up, well, it's part of our depopulation. And I said, dude, the V word are made by, you know who?
Mm-hmm.
Working together with the cabal.
Yeah.
The alphabet soups, the military. So this is what the garbage that they're trying to feed people that watch freaking news and TV.
Yeah. They're trying to make people feel like they shouldn't do anything. You can't make a difference. It's not going to change, or it's being done for you. That's the double messages they're giving people. Either you'll believe that it's being done for you, or you'll believe that you can't do a difference anyway. That's what's being flooded at people. And the fact is, yes, we can. In fact, if the other side is fans of our work, then, and fascinated that we have made it through the gauntlet, and we survived, our character intact, keep our core, who we are, undamaged, still vibrant, unchanged through all the horrors they put us through. They're fascinated by that. They thought we'd be squashed. Instead, we come out enlarged, more enlivened, and more determined for good. And they don't understand that when it's all about power and ego and success. They don't understand it. They don't understand the power of compassion and the unity we have through compassion for each other. And they wish they had it. It's the party they wish they could be part of. So we've got them. They're like second graders again, not to knock second graders, but they're like in the classroom again going, we don't understand. Of course you don't, guys out there in the cabal, you don't understand. Let us show you the way and stop harming people. First of all, behave yourself in class, and then we'll show you the way. Treat them like students.
That's right. Chad, you guys have anything to say before we go?
I had a question to ask Thom, because I was thinking, because when you say layers, like seeing in layers, like ever since Frank and I reconnected, like I would see layers of memories, but now it's totally different. I mean, I'm looking at him and I can see him when he's 6, when he's 5, when he's 14, will like shift, because we see the memories. And while I'm standing in this reality, I can also see him at the same time in the Victorian era, in a castle somewhere, in Chicago, going to the aquarium, and we're 14 and I've never been there. Mm-hmm. And this is my life. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering, since I'm doing that constantly, since my time is happening all at once and I can see the layers, does that make me less susceptible to being reprogrammed, because I seem to have less problems than other people, like,
The layered concepts with the layered experience?
Yeah, since my layers, I can see them all and they're not locked like other people's. Is that why I'm more emotionally stable than a lot of people that I've met?
You have an edge, you have an advantage, because therefore I couldn't take you if I was the cabal that out there trying to groom you to be. And one of the aspects they'd be using, I'm supposed to use my eyes on you. For some reason they say, use your eyes. I'm supposed to tilt my head down slightly, so you see my eyes like this. This is what they were telling me. And I'm supposed to be able to, it's comical, it's ridiculous. But I'm supposed to use these abilities and physicalities and things to the advantage to get through to you, right? No way am I gonna play their stupid game. Forget it. But the thing is, you have the advantage because there's no way to pinpoint you. It's almost like hypnotizing you. I can't focus you into, if I was evil, to get you to focus in where you give your free will over in the process. You're having awareness of many different things at the same time. So there's no way to pinpoint you into a controllable laser focus.
And I think the other people in this group feel that way too, because we're not always here because we're in multi dimensions at once, because I could be at the Stargate, You know, and that memory's in here. And I got 10, 12 different timeline layers completing at once. And it's kind of fascinating.
Well, here's something for you then, real quick. I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time, but for you and your loved one, what you can do is you can practice the idea of, there's exercises which are kind of fun. It's like, what am I feeling right now? And it's also like an acting exercise where you can choose to feel layered feelings: compassion, adoration, hope. And if the partner looks at you and reads it and says, I see these things, and he gets it right, you're learning to read layers and feel layers at the same time. As an actor, I could show you, I could go like, oh, here's me doing.
Now I could show you, because all I had to do was touch Frank when I saw that memory, and I suck him right into it. I don't even have to tell him.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. But what I do is I teach people to say, okay, I'll show you compassion on me. So I'm just, my body believes what I tell it. It's a tool, great tool for performance and things, because it'll believe whatever I tell it. If I tell it it's danger, it'll believe it's danger. But if I tell it I'm feeling compassion, my body's everything I feel it right now, and the eyes and everything else is gonna change a certain look. Right away, it'll take on a certain personification of that feeling. Now, if I say I have a compassion and also hope, it changes my look. Suddenly I have two layers operating: compassion and hope. Now I'm gonna have compassion, hope, and adoration. Now it just changed up. And you would read that on me: compassion, hope, and adoration now sit in my core. And my body believes what I'm telling it. I can add up to 5 layers and more. If we interact that way, children respond specifically to it. They're like, they feel non-threatened. They feel they can approach you, and they'll come up in supermarkets to you. They take your hand. They want you to be with them. It's like crazy, the effect of this. The children read it fast. But you'll see this happening on the person, and you can use that in interpersonal relationships and have a blast connecting on all kinds of positive layers at the same time, be dynamic people together, and then learn that with the public. And it's really cool. Anyway,
that's interesting, Thom, because I just tune in and I'm all that. I don't have to say, okay, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take that, and show them this.
Right, you don't have to
naturally, because of who I am, you see my heart if I let you.
That's why I was drawn to be on your program. See, I can naturally see it, but I'm saying we can break it down.
Yeah.
You have people learn how to do it with each other, and it's very simple. When you see me do it, I think you can see subtle changes, and that's what happens. And it's much more dynamic. The other side, the cabal doesn't want this. I can tell you that. They don't want to see dynamic couples and dynamic friends and dynamic business partners. They don't want that with the dynamic with our children, because if it's all positive and it's like that, we're a threat, because we connect on those layers, and we can't be programmed, because we don't want to give that up. That's a dynamic experience of living. It goes back to the NASA scientist. It doesn't matter if we learn all the answers that we think are the answers. We'll never lose all these major dynamics, and we're fledglings as a society in this idea of layered feeling. So it's gonna be fun. Thank you.
Yeah, they tried to break us. You know, they did all this DID, this
break us down, isolate us, make us dull.
And we're still going with our heart. You know,
we tasted dynamics, we tasted creativity, we tasted fellowship, and brotherhood, sisterhood. We tasted it. We know what it is like to be dynamic parents and to have dynamic children. We know what it's like to have dynamic friendships. We know what it's like to create in layers, to illustrate, act, perform, write, sculpt in layers. I actually sculpt in layers, where you can look at the statue and you see the different feelings the statue emulates. That's cool when you see it, and the person can read it saying, I see compassion, I see hope, I see this, I see love. It's really cool. And you just go off of what you're, it's really cool. It's a great world coming. It's gonna be fun.
Yes.
Be dynamic. We're going to the next stage, but thank you.
So we're gonna just go around the room. That way you can tell everyone how you can be reached, what you do, and we'll start with Thom, then Chad, Susan, and then you. Thank you.
Real quick, redpillrising.org. We're going to change that. It was actually Cabal personnel that said name it that, and I really didn't figure it out at the time. Redpillrising.org will change to blue pill in a moment. But redpillrising.org is the website. Also on Twitter, you'll see Thom Althouse on Twitter. Please join me there, definitely. Elon Musk didn't get his bid, so it's safe. Go to the Twitter. And then you do have Facebook. I'm maxed out on Facebook at the moment, but I do have other pages, such as the Matrix Redeemed Facebook site. Also Thom Althouse Author Facebook site. You can join that. And if room opens up, I will certainly add you to the Facebook, Thom Althouse Facebook regular page, where it has Aiden on my shoulder. And also I'm getting on Instagram too. So those are 3 ways you can reach me.
Yeah, I message you on Instagram, and then your email. What's your email?
77, and it's spelled out this way, the true, True, the True Man Show. So not Truman, the True Man Show @gmail.com. Because everybody said, Thom, you're in the Truman Show. So True Man Show. 77, the True Man Show @gmail.com.
Thank you, Thom.
Sure, thank you.
Who's next? Chad, Susan, and then Eve.
We reached on Instagram at Chad Cooper 444. Thank you. Yeah, I would like to say thank you to Thom too. I think we have one more show coming up, perhaps, or something else, so that'll be all right. But I did want to say thank you very much. I feel like this blue pill and this blue eye, and it's connected to creativity, and I feel like that's the rock or the stone that's in the sling that takes down Goliath. You know, it's what we have.
Love that. Thank you. Thank you. That's what's intended. They actually say David and Goliath is the scenario. Thank you, Chad. Yeah, the blue pill is meant to be that, to free us. It's not something you swallow. It's an idea that we can hold up like a banner and say we're gonna go against the red twisting and the cabal. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
I'm Divine Connections on Facebook, Instagram, and then we have a Dragon and Phoenix page on Facebook and on Instagram, so you can contact me that way. And my website links on there because I do Reiki. I'm a cranial sacral therapist. I do John Barnes. I'm in all the therapeutic stuff. I also do quantum trance based on Dolores Cannon's QHHT, and my website links on there and Divine Connections.
And also your YouTube channel, Susan.
Oh yeah, we need to do a YouTube channel. We've been lazy because we're also introverts and we don't like doing the videos. So, you know, we have to go public, and we're shy. We don't like it that much, but how are we going to help anyone unless we go public and put our faces out there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So for now you have the Phoenix, right? You have like 3 videos up on the Phoenix at YouTube.
I had some that I put up years ago when I was having my Montauk memories before I met Frank, and they're private. I don't really want to put them back up, but there's some, we have our EMF detector, and it's gone all the way up to 32, you know, and I think 10 is at the danger zone for humans. I was sitting here, I'm getting hit in the intestines, the colon, you know, I got diagnosed with diverticulitis last month. It's like, thanks a lot. And it's just coming in waves. I'm just so fed up with all this nonsense. And then you go public and they try to destroy your health.
Yeah. Have you used the beanie hat that I use on it's lessemf.com? And then my friend Mary Ann Badro, she makes hats and scarves and gloves and with the EMF protector inside as well. You can go to lessemf.com if you want the beanie hat that's, you know, you pull over your ears and your pineal gland here to sleep. When I'm at home, I wear it.
Shoot, I need a hat. I need a pair of shorts.
I know.
Oh,
We're talking about the LED, the LED protectors also, Chad and I, and hopefully if we can order some of that EMF protector to put it behind us when we do our shows and behind me
All
when I
that
go to
stuff.
sleep, you know, on my tapestry on my wall. Because I live in an apartment, so I can't really like put up stuff, you know, that's permanent. Thank you. Eve?
Let's see. Well, I'm also a Reiki practitioner. I practice Usuru Reiki. I'm also Native American, so I'm a healer. Let's see. And I am on Facebook. You can find me Eve Howard, Howard. You can also find Rising Spirit Reiki on Facebook and also on Instagram. I'm also on a lot of other places. It's all jointed. If you can get to Facebook, you'll see different links for different sites, including my website, but I haven't really been using it. I need to redo it and find a different site for that. don't have an email at this point because the one that I have is just strictly for the probate that I have for my father. So it's just lawyers. So I will make another email and get that going too. But most of the time you can find me on social media. You can contact me through Veronica, anyone, and I'm always available.
What nation?
I'm on the Ojibwe. So I guess the government calls it Chippewa, but we don't call ourselves that. We're Anishinaabe, which is light lowered from the stars. And a lot of us, which is really, I wanted to mention, a lot of us have memories of us being segregated from these programs. We were all just on Native, it was all just Native American program until about 15. And then I was sent to Colorado, where I finished out about 2-3 years of training there before I was allowed to come back here and continued. I think it was like, I was about 19 when I took my first 20 back. So it was amazing. It's been a heck of a ride, but I guess it would started what, 2016 when all the memories came back, and now it's trying to sort them out and trying to figure out, because because of the timelines and how they just I'm struggling with that, but very grateful to have found my clan here and being able to meet a lot more people and help others. So that's basically what I'm here for. So thank you, Thom.
Thank you. Yes, I also have the bloodline from Dominican Republic, and I don't know if it's Perusian or what yet, but I just found out my great grandmother's name was Dionisia, and she was a guerrera. She was a warrior in Baja California. She married my great grandfather, who was blonde, blue eyes, and so I have the dragon side, I have the red pill and the blue pill in me. So I'm done popping them pills. No, just kidding. It's a joke. But anyway, yeah, we got the dragon line, we got the Anunnaki line. I was born with a purple birthmark underneath in my back, and they call it the mongoloid, which is actually purple blood, which is blue blood, and yellow, which is yellow for the French, Merovingian, and all that. So we're all here for a reason. You can find me on Instagram, Telegram, not on Facebook. I can't stand Facebook. I do hex removals. I do readings. I don't need tarot. I do remote viewing, biolocating. I see the future timelines. I'm a DNA activator. If anybody thinks that they've been abducted into these programs, I can see. I'm a dream walker, all those things. So, and then I'm gonna give a class. Susan, you put a tigre. So cool.
Oh yeah, Dominican friends, when they drink, they're like, me estoy tigre, el tigre.
Yeah, you know what
calling
that
each other
reminds me of?
tiger all the time.
The
You said
tang that we had
Dominican.
to
I heard
drink.
my friends going, el tigre.
The tigre.
Susan, which is really funny, I have something to tell you. The first book that I ever wrote was Phoenix Rising. Isn't that funny?
Actually, I have clothing from a Phoenix Rising company. They have, once on IG, they have really cool stuff like those cool tapes and stuff.
I did this in 2000, and like a dummy, I was a very young writer, and I didn't understand that, I should have probably copywritten that, because afterwards I found, when I went to New York to go get my book picked up by a publisher, there was a spa that came up, Phoenix Rising. I'm like, oh no. And then now I'm seeing it all
Copyright.
over.
I don't believe, right, Thom? Don't
Yeah,
copyright.
yeah. Copyrights is, they got insiders all through the copyright office, but
Yeah,
I'm
don't
not doing
copyright. That's just handing it straight to them.
yeah, if you put-
When I was handing in submissions, that's it was weird that I started in New York, and that's exactly where the first spa, the Phoenix Rising spa, started.
Yeah.
After I left there, and I was like, oh, like a dummy. But
as soon as you said it, I thought that's catchy. That's really catchy. Yeah.
it was oh,
That's pretty cool.
that's why I have the rising spirit.
I have all these classes that I'm giving one after the show. So I have 4 classes now with this one, including the Zoom that I'm gonna make it. So I'm gonna put all of these classes in one, kind of like, because I make junk journals, so I can just probably put them together myself and get them out that way, you know? Because
Cool.
why go through a publisher? You know, we're learning that with Tom's story.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is funny because I have a book that I started reading or started writing. It was on stem cells. I had a dream, and this was in 2012. And I woke up and I started writing, and I put like 20 pages down. I have no knowledge of stem cells. I'm a psychology major and a criminal justice major, and I don't have any idea whatsoever about stem cells or science. But I was given all this information, and I started writing it down, and I actually found it. I hadn't seen it in many years, and I actually found it, and it was I think it kind of ties into that 2012, the Florida and the reanimating of soldiers.
Yeah, the
And
sleeper cells and all
the
that.
attacks. Yes, the attacks. And what it was that they had taken my daughter's blood and used her blood because she's also she's like a lineage of giants. So, I mean, she was 6 weeks premature, and she was almost 9 pounds. She was a big kid.
Yeah.
Even now she's taller than me, and she's only 12. I'm not that short.
Yes.
So yeah, her blood was used in that to reanimate all these soldiers. I don't understand any of it. I haven't gotten any information from anyone, but I did come across the scientist that was involved in that project. It was a female scientist. I had all this information in my tablet, everything, all the files.
I'll give you some of that information because we'll talk. And then we're gonna be on Eve. Susan, hopefully she'll make it. I know Eve, Johnny, hopefully Chad, myself will be on this Sunday at 3 p.m. And then Chola Chismes will be on at 12 o'clock. So with that, guys, I leave you. I love you so much, and we'll see you soon.